Second row! OmniDog! Hey, OmniCat! Now here's the OmniDog and OmniCat show. It's the place to sit if you'd like to know more about the books that they've read. Kristan likes Lumberjanes and Steven. Jess likes Monroe, Jimmy Olsen. And you're in luck, because they're ahead.
OmniCat, OmniDog.
I forgot my cat, my flurkin.
There it is, the flurkin. Good afternoon and welcome to not a surprise show, but I mean an unscheduled show. I'm OmniDad. I am an OmniDad with my OmniCat friend who wait, did I tell you somebody thought you were my daughter?
No.
I'll have to look back in the comments or else in my texts, because yeah, somebody thought you were my daughter, like for as long as we've been doing this.
Oh, they're like, wait, you're just friends. What's happening?
Yeah, I'm like, she is my daughter's age, but no, Kristan's not my daughter. I'll have to find that because I thought it was funny. Because we've been doing the show for like 3 years at least, yeah. 3 full years.
Mm-hmm. They didn't know the whole time. That's hilarious.
To be honest, I thought Kristan was your daughter too for a hot second.
Okay.
And Darkwave Fairy also says meow.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, and here's Max. How's it going, Max? Chris Brogan, how you doing? Carl N. And Cycle Cleveland and I have been having a chat already about downloading pencil sketches from famous artists and then inking them on like our iPads or iPhones, or he has an Android, whatever. You know what I'm talking about. Well, the OmniDog cat name that's true. We are both Omnis. So I'm OmniDog. Maybe I had OmniCat as a daughter. So.
Well, I mean, but dogs and cats aren't related. So.
Well, the Omni.
Well, I suppose, but we just love these stupid big books, you know.
we're in a reverse universe where our last names come first. We're the Omnis, and she's cat, I'm dog. I should get my cat dog figure out. I do have that pop. That's the only pop I kept was the flocked cat dog.
Yeah, I never got the flocked one, but I have the regular one.
Yeah,
so
that's nice. One I gave my real daughter. Not that I don't mind treating you as a daughter, sure.
I mean, you can send me that flocked cat dog. That's fine.
Forget it, sweetheart. That's what I would say to my daughter. And Jaime catching a Saturday show live. I'm well, thanks. Hitting that new Pokemon game hard this weekend. And of course we have...
I want to get it.
Oh, you do? Do you?
I want to get it so bad. In fact, I may text Reed and be like, pick that up for me.
Here's Max Disappointment. Maximum Disappointment. He actually did get his name from Max Appleman, but we changed it to like Colonel Maximum Disappointment. But we call him Max Disappointment. He's part of the Disappointment action figure line, where they're all a big disappointment. But Max, you're not a disappointment. You are a talented guitarist, buddy. Super Laugh Hard, how's it going? Aku rightly asks, what's the topic today? And we do have, and there's Gotham Thrasher. Just want to make sure I say hi to everybody. Kristan, what is the topic today? Kristan, my not daughter, my on-air daughter.
Well, the last show we did, we both picked out 5 books for each other to read from our own collection. And now we're going to talk about them and see how that went. Did they suck? Did we love them? You're going to find out.
Right. And sometimes this is the 3rd time we've done this. And sometimes we end up wondering why these books were on our shelves. And it's a good thing we read them, because then if we're not happy with them, right to Second and Charles, right?
That's right. And I may have one
Oh,
that's gonna go.
Uh-oh. Yeah, the disappointment verse. Marcelo's right. Life is good, thanks. Good for you, Super Laugh Hard. I'm glad life is good. I was just at a Comic-Con as a tangent here. But yeah, we're going to talk about, I got 5 books picked out for me from my stack, and I picked out 5 for Kristan to read. And we're just going to see, this is a good way for us to get these books off our shelves and reading. It's an active reading exercise. So we don't just stare at the books on our shelves and go, what should I read today? I've only got 1,000 books. I have to choose one. I can't.
Yeah.
Do you ever have that where you can't choose one?
All the time. That's half the battle, right?
Yeah.
And I'm such like, there's a lot of people out there who can create a stack for the month, let's say, and they're like, okay, we're definitely going to read these. This is my TBR, to be read pile. Like, we're definitely going to read these. This is what we're reading no matter what. I'm not that person. I'm very much a mood reader. Yes. Right? Like if I'm not in the mood for something, even if it's been sitting there forever, I'm like, oh, I definitely want to get to that this month. And then I look at it and I'm like, no, I can't handle it. Maybe the topic's too dark. Maybe I got a lot of stuff going on. I'm like, I need something light and fluffy. I don't know. But that makes it harder too, because if I'm not in the mood for something, it is just going to sit there. Yeah. So that is what's nice about this. We can be like, okay, here's 10 books that we know we do want to read. You pick for me because I can't.
Here's Thomas Voss from the Netherlands. We have quite a crowd from the Netherlands. We just need a couple more people and we'll have the entire Netherlands crew in. All of Netherlands will be watching. Why did I say I just got back from a comic show? I went to a small, it's not a con, it's just a small comic show to talk to my friend there, and I looked around, but there are back issues that I still want for my collection, my personal collection, old stuff that I'd like in decent condition, just for the spinner rack. And there were not more than 3 aisles in this place. They weren't very long, but it didn't take me long to start getting not claustrophobic, but just I couldn't pick out anything. I didn't want to go through all the dollar bin things. That's exactly what I need. I don't have any comic book stores around me with dollar bins. Third Eye is an hour away, so this thing was half an hour away, and I could have spent a lot of time flipping through there. And I was just like, I just felt like I was 7 years old again, and my mom was dragging me into Macy's. I was just like, my body just went limp.
Sure.
I can't do this, and it's comic books. It's the thing I love most. I saw, and everybody there has all the hot books that are selling now, like the first appearance of Moon Knight and things like that because of the show and stuff. But those aren't the books I want. I want like Justice League of America 55 from 1967 that nobody cares about, but I still want to find it in good condition. My point was that I lost it in there. I could never go to San Diego Comic-Con. It is just too big and people-y, I think. Gabe has said for a number of years that I would hate it, and I think he's right. I think
I would hate it too. As much as we all see that one, we're like, ooh, it's, everyone's there, which is awesome. But I'm just like, I don't have the money for that, right? Because you already paid it in, and there's so many people you'd want to see.
Yeah.
And things you would want to buy. It's like, how?
Yeah, you don't want to go to San Diego and come out empty-handed.
Right.
You went all that way. You want to get something good. So, but I think I can do it again, but I'm gonna have a targeted list. I think you always have to have a targeted list when you want to go. Here's our other Netherlands buddy. Oh dear, it's these people.
Lovely.
I need to have a targeted list, like the 5 comics that I'm looking for, and dollar bin dive, and just do that and get out, because I was sort of just flipping through. I sort of want to find this Supergirl in the Legion of Superheroes. I'm looking for Justice League, and I had to get out. I said goodbye to my friend and see ya.
Yeah, I felt the same way. Like, you have to have a list, or else I feel like I'm meandering too. I'm like, I don't know. I need to look at this letter for these things, but maybe I should go over here. And it's overwhelming. I think single issues are way more overwhelming because at least if you walk in like a half price books and you go to the graphic novels, you can see all those spines. You don't have to flip through anything. You don't have to think about it, because if you see a book, you're like, oh yeah, I wanted to get that. It's right there. It's so much easier to not like to have a good time.
Yeah. And I think those things, like the best time I had was with Taylor when we went book shopping for graphic novels. So he was like a scout for me. He'd hold out a book and say, hey, do you have this? And I go, no, I don't. And I'd have a big stack. And he said, I feel partially responsible for Phantom X Max, which turned out to be awful. And I thought, no, dude, you held it out for me and I grabbed it, and it's my fault totally that it turned out to be terrible.
Well, we can't love everything, right?
No, we can't.
A lot of stuff I get and I think is going to be good, and then I read it and I'm like, what happened?
I have a video for you that I'm putting up probably Tuesday or Wednesday. I actually already did it, and my wife already did the thumbnail for it. So I just put out something on Brubaker, I think yesterday. So probably Tuesday, I'll put up. It's called 5 Books I Loved in 2021 and 5 Books I Loathed.
Yeah, it's my favorite 5. I feel like I know one book that's going to be on there. I
interspersed them, so you have to watch through. You can't just jump to the last 5 that I hate.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, that was Gio's idea. I thought of it, and Gio gave me the okay, because Gio watches lots of things on YouTube, and I don't. And I said, from a viewer perspective, what would you like to see? And he said that. So I need social media lessons because I'm not that big of a consumer of it. I'm a producer of it, barely. That's it.
More than me.
That's right. I'm supposed to be your producer to get you on the air.
I have a few days left in January. We'll see.
Okay. Uh-oh. Super laugh hard. Are you from the Netherlands? Ik spreek geen Nederlands, maar ik wou dat ik het kon. I think
flawless accent.
Sorry?
Flawless accent.
Spreek. What word is that? I understand Netherlands, but spreek geen. That may be my new YouTube name, unless it turns out to be stupid potato or something. Not an easy language. There's lots of extra letters in there that like A's and E's and stuff that my English speaking tongue is just not good at. So tell me what spreek geen means, because I'm thinking about calling myself Spreek geen dog now because it sounds so good. Let's see. Peter DeLuca, hey Jess, I just started reading the Batman Road to No Man's Land Omni and I absolutely love it so far. Have you read it? And if so, what should I expect from just the No Man's Land Omni? Thanks. I read all those back in floppies, and I remembered that I personally liked Road to No Man's Land better than I liked No Man's Land. But if you're loving Road to No Man's Land, I bet you're going to like No Man's Land. Those are 2 big books. I mean, I know No Man's Land. Road to, No Man's Land. I have them in trades that I'm keeping, but I think you can expect to be happy to read it. The No Man's Land Omni, if you love the Road to. Cat by Brubaker's phenomenal. Correct. Oh, all of us. There are dozens of this, says the Nederlander. Spreek gen, Max. See, I'm just off the cuff speaking Dutch. Translation: I don't speak Dutch, but I wish I could. Okay, so spreek is speak. But what's the geek? Or what was it? Spreek geek? Spreek gen.
I think that's don't speak.
That's what? I don't speak?
Don't speak, yeah.
I don't speak Dutch. Okay, so you kind of
Or,
need to have
or
the
you love
ick
no
in
doubt.
there. Sorry?
Or you love no doubt. Don't speak.
What?
Don't
I
speak.
love no doubt?
Yeah, don't speak. You're saying don't speak a lot.
Oh, right.
Gwen Stefani, come on.
I did pick up on that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm a big fan. How you find people doing? And I actually am a fan of Gwen Stefani. Stefani.
Gwen Stefani, my favorite.
Good Greek. Good Greek. Spreek is pronounced sprake and just means speak. Oh, okay. Darn it. Sprake. Spraking. Okay. There's been another guy. Oh, there's Johnny from Finland. There's another guy from Finland, a real Finn with an authentic Finnish name, pop up on these live shows, but our paths may have crossed at NMC. I don't know if he ever does OmniDog, though. Johnny, I think, is an American living in Finland. And Johnny, I need to send you a picture in your email because I discovered I've been going through all my cereal box collection. And I have about 300 of them that I have to go through. I'm sure they're entirely worthless. But I also found all my toys from like Kellogg's and stuff that I sent away for. And I got a ton of cereal mascot bowls and spoons that I found. And so we've been eating our cereal out of that now. And the reason I'm saying that is because Johnny has one and I saw it in the background. He sent me a picture. So I'm telling you, Johnny, that's what I'm sending you. A picture of my Kellogg's cereal bowls. Who said Princess Omar? Did I say that?
It's the person above him.
Princess Omar. Hello from Nearmint Castle. Nearmint Castle. What are your comics of royalty recommendations? All Inhumans. Black Bolt is a great comic. He's the king. Medusa's his queen. Anything Inhumans is a great comic. I've read lots and lots of great Inhumans by a lot of good authors, and it's really disappointing that they haven't caught on the way I think they should. I feel like they should be more popular. But that that picture is the greatest. What was he doing in there? One of his daughters
Clearly being a princess.
One of his daughters must have been in there with him or something wearing that. I just yeah, you know Aku, right? Inhumans by Soul is so good. Black Bolt by Saladin Ahmed. I think that's by Saladin Ahmed, the Black Bolt book. There's a Karnak book that's awesome. A Fracture in All Things, something like that. Inhumans by Soul. Inhumans. Let me look. Where's my Inhumans? It's too dark in here for me to see now. Yeah, I think that's the problem, is that for some reason they put absolutely nothing. They put nothing into that show, and I think it turned a lot of people off to the Inhumans, which was too bad. Oh, Astonishing Melanie often wears it. Okay, Astonishing Melanie is awesome. Did I tell you the funny thing she said to me? We'll get to our first book after I tell this. Allow me to wave my wand of royalty and make an abundance of Inhumans Omniboo come to be. I've been in contact with the rep for Kellogg's over here to see if they have any extra bowls for you stashed away somewhere. And grew up in California, left for Europe when 19. Well, you don't need to look anymore, Johnny. Thank you so much. I've got my own that I'll send you a picture of. Actually, I'm sure I could. I'm not sure that anybody. No, you know what? I'll save it for our email. I doubt anybody but me and Johnny care that much about my Kellogg's character bowls. But anyway, Melanie was texting me last week, and I said my daughter's coming over for the playoffs, and she said, "Oh, cool. What sports ball throwing playoffs are tomorrow?" And I laughed so hard. She was like, "Obviously, I'm not into sports at all. Sports ball throwing." That was so great. I want to call all sports that all the time now. It's so funny. Hey, Reaper, how's it going? So, who wants to go first? You want to let's Rochambeau for who goes first. Rock, paper, scissors.
Okay.
Okay, ready? Wait. Let me count us off. Ready?
Okay.
1, 2, 3. Oh, you changed right when you saw me go down.
No, I didn't. I didn't see you.
You didn't?
No.
Okay, well, you cut paper, so you won.
I had my scissors ready.
Right in your hand, yeah. Oh, here's T-Lar Bloom. Send me some pictures so I can promo you, Tyler, you and your great photography.
That's a good Instagram account.
It is, SSD Toys.
So good at reels. I was watching the other day. I was like, man, this guy, he's a celebrity. This guy's great.
He's almost got 7,000 followers.
It's fantastic. He needs more. Follow him.
Yeah, SSD Toys. Send me some pics and I'll show him. So what book did I suggest for you that you read from your collection?
First one, Displacement. We talked about this last time because it's not a pick-me-up.
Oh, yeah, right.
Right. So it's about a girl who she goes on vacation in present-day San Francisco and randomly kind of blinks. Everything gets kind of foggy, and she goes back in time to the 1940s American internment camp where her grandmother was. And she's like, what's going on? You know, she lives a little bit in that life, and she sees her grandmother, and she experiences everything in that camp. And then she kind of blinks and she comes back to present day.
Wow.
And from then on, she eventually, like, it happens like a few more times, and she eventually gets stuck in that time.
Oh my gosh.
And she keeps waking up and thinking she would go back to her life, and she doesn't. So she has to experience every horrible thing that happened in the internment camps.
Let me ask one quick question. Does she inhabit somebody else's body, or is she herself?
She's herself.
Okay.
Just in that time period. So she, she's roomed with another girl because she's still a 16-year-old girl, experiencing all of this. And she gets to know a lot of the people who live there. She never actually meets her grandmother, but she sees her from afar, and she kind of sees what she experiences and everything. And, things that her grandmother never told her that she can see through, her own eyes now.
Yeah.
So the rest of the book's kind of her dealing with that and trying to figure out, okay, am I ever going to go back to like present day? What's happening? Toward the end, she has this great conversation with her mother about what she experienced. And
she does go back?
Yeah, maybe that's a little bit of a spoiler, but I mean, she can't stay in time, right? We know that.
No.
So I won't give away what that is, but there's a great kind of twist there. And it was very interesting. This is a sort of nonfiction fiction book, because the character is the author, and that's actually her grandmother, and her actual mom's in it, and things that her grandmother experienced. I'm sure that a lot of it's fictionalized, as any book has to be, and of course the actual going back in time, that's not real.
Right.
But it was very, that little twist, and just that like, it wasn't just a firsthand account or something, because she couldn't have that. So she found a way to be like, okay, there's this weird going back in time element, but it's still reality for a lot of people. I thought that was really interesting and different. I've never read a nonfiction kind of book like this, where there's that big fiction element. But I really liked it. I think you'll really like it.
Oh.
I think anyone who liked the George Takei book will love this. So check this out if you want some more things like that. And history that probably a lot of us should know that we don't know.
Yeah.
It's a great great encounter. I really liked it. And I really like the art.
Wait, let me highlight you so you can show the art. Whoop. What? I took you away. I meant
Yeah,
to
you did.
highlight you. Sorry. That's me.
Just very simple line work. I like how the panels don't have lines. And the same with like the bubbles. It's a very just clean looking art. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. It's a good one.
Awesome. Here's Make Havoc. How's it going, buddy? Benjamin Savage. I'm replaying that rock paper. We'll have the final conclusion.
All right. if you did lay down your paper, I wasn't looking at it. I was just waiting for my scissors.
You were doing that no matter what.
Yeah, I was like, scissors.
Yeah, that's fair. Tyler did send in some of his recent SSD Toys action figure shots. So we'll take a second and show you Peter B. Parker. There he is.
It's good.
Sitting on a gargoyle reading the paper with his coffee behind him.
Love it. Nice.
Nice background. Oh, this is really cool. Look at all the webs on Spidey. He's just all webbed out. That is such a cool shot.
You know, theoretically, couldn't you share your screen and just go to his Instagram?
I could. He's texting him, so I could. Couldn't I share my screen that way?
Well, you're saying texting. Do you mean texting?
I do. Yeah, he's texting me.
Okay.
Okay. Wait. I have to open them all up. Let's see. Peter B. How do I? Where's the? I can't get it to scroll. He sent me 5 pictures. This blows. I can show you. On the screen, it's not letting me scroll. If I preview it, okay, preview. Now scroll to the other pictures. No, it's not doing it. Screen shared IG. You don't want people to see the crazy messages that come from us. All right. Take it easy. Everybody relax. I'll show them in a second. All right. Let me go to IG. Instagram. Okay. Whoa, wait a sec. I don't want people seeing what's on my Instagram all of a sudden.
What are you following?
It's an ad for something. SSD Toys. Oh, that's just a story. Okay, wait a sec.
What kind of ad was it?
This is not going to work because, wait, SSD Toys sent up. Oh, that's the. Now I'm just scrolling through Instagram looking at it. I think it's going to work easier if I just show you on my phone. I just can't. I can't get it.
I'm going to hear about this later from my dad. He's like, Jess could screen share these things he shows on his phone. I'm like, I know.
I just not. Whoops! Now I'm showing you this. I don't even know. Now this one I thought looked good, except I think it gives Batman little cherub wings on him. That's just his logo for the movie. But I like the effects.
But that makes him
color.
cute.
He looks like
he's adorable.
Here's a good one. He loves army builders, so he's got about 1 billion stormtroopers.
Love that.
Yeah, that's really cool, and the diorama he has behind it. Have you read Fatale? I have, and I love it. By Brubaker. Have you read that?
I haven't, but it's on my list.
I think it's great. It brings in a bit of a horror element that normally doesn't happen in his crime fiction stories in the LA sort of basin area. Uh, and it's I think it was really a surprise. I loved it because it brought in this sort of Lovecraftian horror element that you weren't into a regular sort of crime fiction story, and it took it to a different level, which is fine with me. I wonder how other Brubaker fans feel about it. I should ask Taylor. He's like the ultimate Brubaker fan. I highly recommend it. Just know that it has a bit of a science fiction element in it, but it's a great story. However you can read it. I am too kind. I showed enough. Okay. And there's Daffy. Hello. Harvey's currently trying to choose between starting Fatale or The Sandman. Sandman's going to take you a while. Fatale you can read in the whole story in 2 hours tops. Sandman's going to be a few days. So I'd get Fatale out of the way and enjoy it, and then push everything aside to read Sandman, because it's long and very, very interesting and really great, but it's not a normal comic. I feel like you really have to concentrate reading that comic, because he pulls in a lot of historical elements and mythical elements. What are your thoughts on Sandman?
I've only read like the third volume.
You mean 1 through 3, or just pulled 3 out?
Pulled 3 out because it was a graphic novels class in college where we had to read the volume 3 paperback.
A graphics novel class in college?
It only lasted one class, one semester.
Shoot.
But yeah, unfortunately. But I went to it, of course.
Yeah. I wish I could go to graphic novel college, where all they didn't teach about graphic novels. And here's somebody from Liverpool. Hey, Starshine. Daffy's trying to read Lucifer, Sandman, and Books of Magic. That is a month's worth of reading, especially with Books of Magic 2 coming out. It's just as big as Books of Magic 1. I highly recommend all 3 of those, though. Highly recommend. I love those books. My first book that I read that you chose, I chose this because Christopher Cantwell wrote a 2-volume, I think, Doctor Doom story that I really loved. And so I was thinking, let me get some more Christopher Cantwell stuff. And it's 3 volumes of She Could Fly. The idea is that this young woman, she's probably 16, I would guess. Everybody sees a woman flying. All of a sudden, it's like a local phenomena where she's living. They get glimpses and glances of a woman flying in the air, not doing anything, just flying. And she becomes obsessed with the woman. And all of a sudden, they're watching it. The flying woman's out for a day on a little spin in the air, and she explodes. And that's it. And nobody knows who the flying woman was, what she was doing, why she was there. And this young woman, her name's Luna, a disturbed 15-year-old girl, becomes obsessed with learning everything about her. So does a washed-up physicist, a secret government security team, and Chinese intelligence. So I don't want to ruin it to tell. Anyway, the art is really, really good. It reminds me of maybe a young Stephen Dillon. This is Luna, and it's really more of a story about mental health and mental illness. The flying woman's real, and the Chinese, all I'll say is all those other people that I mentioned are interested in getting a hold of the woman's technology that lets her actually fly. So um, there's a whole conspiracy thing going here, and government's after the technology, and it's stolen technology. But but um, but you know who, and the mystery of who was the woman and why was she flying. But the main part of this story is this young girl, Luna, suffers from this type of OCD um, that makes her, it's like a voice in her head, and it makes her feel like she's done bad things. And I know this type of OCD, it talks about what kind of OCD this is in the book, because I have someone near to me that suffered from this type of OCD, where when she was really little, or maybe 10 or 11, for a couple of years, she thought she was responsible for things like 9/11 and responsible for just bad things that happened. I didn't bookmark it. I should have, because there's a certain name for it on the OCD scale, where she's obsessed with the fact that she's caused harm to others, and she's constantly battling that in her head. So it's a deep dive into that type of OCD illness, um, how she can operate under its influence, and what she tries to do. She becomes obsessed with a woman and does everything she can to find out more about the woman, and then runs into all these other government agencies that are trying to find it too, and what she does about that. But it's mostly about this. Well, not mostly. Well, yeah, mostly. It's mostly about her dealing with her OCD, that she caused harm to people. And I know it's real because I have someone, as I said, there's something in her head that made her think she caused 9/11 and other bad things. And it, um, it is a serious illness that really leaves people traumatized, thinking that they caused these catastrophes and maybe local car crashes or national disasters, something. Um, so it dives deep into that. Um, so I found it fascinating because I have experienced that kind of OCD. If it's a good story, from as far as a story goes, from beginning to end, it's a well written, full on story, beginning, middle, end, with a character you learn to really care about, but you're also it's that unreliable narrator aspect of it. You're wondering, is she who's talking here? Is it that part of her brain? They always show that part of her brain in like bright red colors, yelling at her that she caused this and she caused that. So you're not sure who's under what capacity the person's narrating. Um, but it does come to a satisfactory conclusion. And there are a couple of twists in there that I didn't see coming. Actually, I'll tell you what, there's a lot of twists in there that I didn't see coming, that help the story become a richer experience, because there are several people in her life, something happens to them and you didn't expect that at all. And there's all kinds of those moments. So I really, really liked this book a lot. I imagine it can be a little depressing, because, she's got such a hard, I'm pretty sure her OCD is coupled with depression, although they treat her more as an OCD patient. But this is definitely staying on my shelf. It's not going anywhere. I thought it was really well illustrated and treated the subject very seriously and sympathetically in an amazing kind of circumstance with the flying woman. and what the flying woman stands for in the end. So, yeah, I loved it.
Great.
You could fly. I think you'd really dig it. I highly recommend it to you. It's not for anybody out there. It's not a punch 'em up superhero thing, but it's also not a normal slice of life thing. It's like slice of life. I don't know how to describe it. Slice of life with a flying woman and a serious OCD problem. I guess I did a pretty good job on Remco selling it. Oh, here's a good question we can answer. Crashline, sweet, I'm not too late. I bought Tea Dragon Society based on just Jess's recommendation. What about the? Are you not even going to react to that? Are you listening?
I'm nodding. Are you serious? I'm nodding.
Oh, what about the Aquacorn
What am I
Cove
supposed-
book? I was
I can
totally
interrupt you,
teasing
I guess.
I was totally teasing you.
Aquacorn Cove. Yes, you need to buy it.
I just ordered it from IST.
Did you get
So-
the paperback? Is that what you got?
Oh,
The paperback just came out, but
that's
there's
what I
a hardcover.
ordered.
Yeah,
That's
the
okay.
hardcover.
That's what I ordered. Yeah.
Okay. Yes, 100%. You should buy it.
Yeah. I'm that author, that creator. I'm excited to read the next. It's not set in that universe, is it?
No.
Separate? Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, Kay O'Neill has done no wrong. Everything I've read from Kay O'Neill has been amazing. So Aquacorn Cove is no exception.
what else did they do? I forget. There's like one more besides Aquacorn Cove.
Princess Ever After.
Okay.
They did like a children's book graphic novel that's like really thin but I loved it. That's called Dewdrop, I believe. Is that all? I think that may be it.
Somebody loved the book so much that they bought the board game that they wrote. Oh, there it is. Okay.
Here's Aquacorn Cove.
Okay, let's
Same
take a
amazing
look at
art.
it.
Same amazing art, of course.
Yeah.
Great characters, lovely little story.
Okay.
It's really good.
I'm excited to
Yeah.
read it. But there's a board game that goes with Tea Dragon Society. Did Crashline? Did you buy that?
There's a card game for Tea Dragon and Princess and maybe Aquacorn Cove. I mean, they're coming out with like one for each book, I feel like. Where did I put that?
Okay. Who did anybody? Okay, Crashline has the Tea Dragon card game as well. I thought so. So we did the author a solid by recommending this because now people are buying the card game.
Here's Princess Ever After. Also very little book, but it's lovely. It's very lovely. This is like maybe the first one. I think the very early one.
Mm.
But I mean, if you like Kay O'Neill's work, you're gonna love it. It's lovely.
Nice. Taylor Talks Comics. I bought the Silver Age Thor omnibus based on Jess's glowing recommendation. Can't wait to read it. For anybody watching, this is a joke. He's totally kidding because I couldn't stand those books. But Taylor, you are a funny guy because that is funny. Crashline's completely sold. I'll see if I can find Princess. Thank you.
Awesome.
And T-Lar Blunt says, I really like that artwork.
It's so good.
Yeah.
Some of my favorite.
Oh, here's Rob M.A. Hey, I'm Dog OmniCat. Always good to hear of the not so talked about comics. Oh, wouldn't this be great?
It needs to happen. Everything they've ever done, they should
Yeah.
animate.
Yeah.
It's just, like perfect for that.
Just make it a universe.
Yeah, absolutely.
I really did buy the Thor omnibus, though. Haha. That's on you, Taylor. You read it and get back to me. So I believe you have another book.
I do. So I read The Wizard and the Potion of Dreams. which looks like some quirky fun. It was about, I forget exactly, it's been a bit. But a garden tending wizard is dragged into the adventure in life by a small princess warrior princess, as they seek the ingredients of a wish granting potion. So that's absolutely what it was. I adored the art in this. Really, really love the art in this. It's very vibrant and fun and very quirky characters.
Mm-hmm.
And, I enjoyed it for what it was, but I'll tell you what, I got to the end and I was like, what was the point?
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
But so I liked it okay. I don't know that I'd recommend it. You know what I mean? But I didn't hate it. It was a fun ride. Was it worth my time? Maybe not. But I do really appreciate the art in it. Absolutely. It's a fun art. I know. Very lackluster review. I don't know. I was like,
I'm with you. I get it. Yeah.
Sometimes it happens. But I did love the art. I'll give it that.
You know what? The first book of what I'm going to recommend is, well, I don't need the first book, I don't think, because it's a series. I read 1 through 4. There are 5 volumes, but I read 1 through 4 of Daredevil by Mark Waid. That's as far as I got. And contrary to popular belief, I think people, from what Taylor's told me, people refer to this as sort of a lighter Daredevil, a lighter in spirit, because Daredevil's been beat up emotionally more than any other character, maybe Spider-Man, but Daredevil has depression issues, and that is what's dealt with. Thank you. And that is what's dealt with here mostly. I don't see how this is a light Daredevil, because they address his depression issues head on. Foggy does. He's with a woman for a little bit that asks him if he's trying to just cover over his depression, because Matt Murdock is in a relatively light and happy mood in this book on the outside, and it's a lot of it is almost the whole, I mean the whole series is about his. Ooh, look, I got it signed by Mark Waid, this one.
So fancy.
Thank you. This is volume 3. Volume 1 was also signed by him, so I guess they did that around 2018 or 19. Well, the art's fantastic. The story is, of course, fantastic. It's Mark Waid. The only reason I didn't get through the 5th one is because of the next book that took up a lot of my time. I also offered up books that were multi-volume, and as much as I wanted to read those, all those volumes, I don't know if I'd do that again, because it made it really hard to read all of them in time for this. But I highly, highly, highly recommend this. It's as good as everybody says it is. Mark Waid's Daredevil, and there's even a great team up with Spider-Man and Punisher and Miss Punisher, and it, he deals a lot with his. I like how they show right here how he sees things through his radar senses. I do 100% highly recommend it, but in no way, shape, or form is this like Daredevil goes to the carnival and enjoys, throwing darts at balloons and just eating popcorn and sitting around. He has to deal with serious depression issues, and his friends and coworkers are all begging him to deal with it. He's trying to deal with it, and so my only thing is that it's just not a light little Daredevil. It's not. I mean, Matt Murdock is smiling a lot through it, but underneath it all, he's dealing with it goes over the history of what he's dealt with ever since, spoiler alert, Karen Page was killed, and then everything that's followed. And there's also an element at work a nefarious element at work that tortures him, to make him seem not only depressed but crazy and losing it and not in his right mind. I don't mean to use the word crazy, but not in his right mind. There's a villain that does stuff that nobody else sees that makes him think he's losing his mind, and so that's an interesting twist. So I mean, this is a 5 out of 5 star run, 10 out of 10 star. I love it. I will keep it. I will read it again. So I loved it. This was a big hit for me. As long as you don't go into it thinking it's just Daredevil, frolicking with Deadpool or something. It's not. He's, stressing out to the max.
Well, you're making me actually want to pick that up off my shelf.
Oh, you have it?
I do. Yeah.
Oh, well, maybe for another round of this, you can pick that.
Yeah.
It's 5 volumes, and but I only made it through 4, so I don't know about the 5th. I assume it finishes up fine. I've never heard anybody complain about the finish, so I think you would love this book because when we interviewed Mark Waid, feels like, well, it was 2020. I think it was during COVID. Taylor and I did. He addressed it where Taylor asked him about people's perception that it was a lighter Daredevil run, and he was like, "It's not that at all. He's dealing with his depression throughout the whole thing. It's very dark if you read into it properly." Although there is a great scene that I took a picture of where Daredevil's ripping through the air near a school bus, and the little kid says, "Ooh, Red Batman." So I thought that was great. Red Batman. So Waid throws in funny things like that all the time.
That's awesome. I interviewed Mark Waid too.
So yeah, well, he was your Waid of honor. You got to him before I did. He was at your wedding.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
He married us. He should have. I should have been like, you're going to come here now.
Yeah, you're part of the family. Move. That'd be a good sitcom.
Yeah. Do you think this run is good for people just jumping in if they haven't read the previous Daredevil runs?
That is a good question. This is my daughter calling, so let me just see. Hello? Hi, I'm on the air. Can I call you back, or are you in trouble?
No, I'm not in trouble, but he's finally retiring.
What? Who? What?
Tom Brady's retiring.
Oh, okay. Thank you. I'll tell my audience. Okay. Bye-bye. I love you.
We heard.
Tom Brady is retiring.
I heard.
She was yelling it. Yeah. She's not a fan of Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I think it is a good starting point because there's a lot of references to how he got his powers, what his powers are, how he got them, what his relationship was like with his dad, which is a big factor. So I mean, everybody says start with Frank Miller, then go Brubaker Bendis or Bendis Brubaker, whatever it is. But I think you could start with this because Waid references all the things that have happened to Daredevil and Matt Murdock in particular, that are leading him to deal with his depression. It references who Foggy is and how he met him. Some new characters are introduced, and it's organic enough that it just flows with the story. Spider-Man and Punisher are in there, and Spider-Man is hilarious in that run. I think it would be a fine place for people to start.
Well, and it's like you mentioned, I wonder because everyone's like, yes, every Daredevil run has been amazing pretty much. You start here, you go here, here, here. And I'd like to read those one day, but I do have Wade sitting on my shelf and I'm just like, I felt like it holds me back to know everyone says that. And I'm like, well, I guess I got to go back to Miller and I got to do that. But then I never do. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, you won't read it then if you have to. I got in a thing with Taylor where we said we were where it helps, like when I have you to read a book and we buddy up and read the book. It just helps to pull it off the shelf, like we want to do with Batwoman, right? You and I want to read that together.
Yeah.
So I got in a Daredevil mood with Taylor, and we read. I had already read the Frank Miller stuff. I had that in floppies, and then I read the Bendis and Brubaker stuff. I sold Shadowland because I had it, and everybody was saying only the Shadowland event itself. None of the it's the tie-ins that apparently weigh that book down. I just skipped it, and I was fine reading. I think you should probably just pull out book one and start reading it.
I agree. And I think people get too wrapped up in that, right? And I'm one of those people who listen to them, but I think if we sit down and think about it, it's like any of these runs should be a good starting point. And if they're not, I think that author messed up. Like if it's so wrapped up in all the history that you can't understand it, if you're just pulling it off a shelf, like you're really alienating a lot of people.
Yeah. And I will say that if you're a Daredevil fan, you already know everything. You're not going to be like, dude, I already know all this stuff. Let's get to the story. He works it all in really organically so that it's back matter that's important to the story itself. Whatever he's going through in that particular issue. There are things with his father that he deals with, things with his mother that he deals with, and then that get addressed. All the people that have been hurt in his past life, not his past life, but all the people that have been hurt in his life prior to this run. I think that is doing, as you say, a disservice to people if they can't just pull it off the shelf. Now, I don't know anything about Soul's run or Zdarsky's run. I haven't gotten to those yet, so I don't know how well they follow up to it, but I know that you can pull Wade 1 right off the shelf and get into it immediately.
You've convinced me. I have to do it now.
Yay.
Awesome.
Yay us. Johnny agrees. I've heard many say Wade's Daredevil can be read without any prior knowledge of the character. Some have even said it was a good jumping on point. That some is me. If you mean to say Jess has said it was a good jumping on point. Oh, here's Comic Bound. How's it going, buddy? Wade's run was my first Daredevil back when I was getting more into Marvel. I think it is a great starting point for new readers. Okay, good. Is Tom Brady the Whose Line Is It Anyway guy?
That's Wayne
Brady?
Yeah. Oh. No, he's the good Brady. Wayne Brady.
Is this Tom working comics? It's not Tom Taylor. It's not Tom King. It's Tom Brady, the sports ball throwing guy. Comics versus the World. Evening Omni family. Sorry I couldn't join you live, but I'm looking forward to catching up in the replay. Okay, thank you. I dig your avatar. It's pretty cool. Looks Scott Pilgrimish to me. So that's the idea. Comics versus the World. Scott Pilgrim versus the World. Okay, I get it.
It's a good Instagram. Check it out.
Oh, it is?
Yeah.
Who is that?
My Instagram friend. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
What's funny is I don't know their name.
Oh, you just follow them on Instagram.
Yeah.
Okay, everybody follow Comics versus the World on Instagram. I'll start too. James is right. Daredevil also has eye problems. Yeah, some things start to come up that rob him of his... he gets sensory deprivation type of things going on where he can't use his senses, and so he has to battle that too. Taylor Talks Comics. Would you recommend Wizard for kids? My son loves comics like that.
Yeah, I think this would be great for kids as long as you're okay with there's like swords and hitting and violence, but it's cartoony.
Cartoony disembowelment.
Yeah, things like that. Not quite disembowelment, but let's see. You're gonna, just like prison and just, but it's fun. It's cartoony. I think this would be good for kids.
Okay.
And I did like it. It's just the middle of the road for me, but
Yeah.
kids may love it.
Yeah. Here's a good question. Are most of Daredevil's runs great? That is one thing that Taylor and I talked about when we did our Brubaker Bendis run, is that Daredevil has, in modern comics, usually the answer is yes. The Bendis run, the Brubaker run, the Frank Miller run. I haven't read the Kevin Smith or Joe Quesada run, but those are supposed to be really good. Then there's Daredevil by Wade, and I've heard good things about Zdarsky's and Soul's run. So he's one of the few characters that I think you can say that a lot of his collected editions are really good. But I haven't read the Marvel Knights omnibus that has the Kevin Smith stuff in it that's actually supposed to be really good. Dofi says, Jess, you would like Chip's run on Daredevil. You can jump into Soul as well, no problem as well. All right. Thank you, Aiku. Aiku, a big football fan, American sports ball throwing football fan. He and I talk about sports. Current DD run is really great. Comic Bound says Wade's run definitely does rely on you knowing how much messed up stuff has happened in Matt's life. Yeah, Wade does a great job of it. He does. He explains it as you go, and you don't miss anything. Have you read The Walking Dead?
I haven't finished it, but I've read like half of it.
I've heard that. Okay, the TV show or the book? You.
He's saying.
I know. What you though? You've read Walking Dead?
And watched it, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm the unpopular opinion.
Sorry.
Go ahead.
No. Do you have an unpopular?
I know what you're gonna say. Go ahead.
I don't have anything. I haven't read it, and I only watched the first season, so I'm looking for some help.
Okay, I'm the unpopular opinion, as in I love both of them. So I've only read half the comic, loved it, loved the show.
Oh.
Although I haven't seen the last few seasons, but that's my unpopular Kirkman opinion. I know.
Kirkman, I forgot. Okay,
But if you haven't even read the comic, you don't have a say in this.
Yeah, I don't. That's what I'm asking for help.
I also recommend the Telltale video game because it's amazing. And Tilly Walden, my favorite, is coming out with a Clementine comic this summer, and I'm so excited. So if you've played the game and you love Clementine, she's coming out with a Clementine book. It's going to be 3 volumes, and it's going to be the best.
Okay, wait. What I understand. I know what I've played the first couple chapters of the Telltale game on my iPad of Walking Dead.
So you know Clementine.
Okay, well, no, that was like 5 years ago. So she's a character.
Go ahead. Girl in the game is Clementine with the hat. The main little girl who grows up throughout the game. And I guess that's a spoiler, but she doesn't die in the first one. So,
okay.
But this is a book about her that Tilly Walden's coming out with.
That's right. Okay, yeah, you've told me this before. I forgot about her connection with the game. She's a creation of the game.
Yes.
That Tilly Walden is expanding upon.
Yes.
Okay. And you're way excited about it.
It's my most anticipated release of this year.
Whoa.
100%.
Wow, that's a big statement. Nice.
Yeah.
That's good to know.
If anyone's played the games, I mean, a lot of people who hate the show, hate the comics, love the games, you know? It's a whole different thing, really. And Clementine's such a good character. So I'm just like, one of my favorite authors and artists of all time, plus a great character who I love. It's gonna be great. I'm gonna love it.
This makes me want to get the game on my iPad again and play. I'll have to start from the beginning because
You should.
I think I played when they first came out, and I feel like that was 2012 or something.
I feel like it was forever ago. Yeah, I
Yeah.
should probably replay it before I read it too. Just cause. Also, it's fun. It's a great game.
Yeah, it was. I liked it a lot. It wasn't. It was. I want to I'm sorry. I want to play a Wolf Among Us too. The Big B. The Big
I-
B. But,
I played that forever ago too, but
yeah, that's
it's been
another one
forever.
that I want to play.
It's fun.
I have a problem. I'm not a keyboard games player. I'm more of I usually am a console guy, so I have problems with the buttons and stuff with the keypad. That's what I'm saying. I
They're
have
on
trouble
console.
with the keypad, but it's not hard on the iPad to play those games.
Oh, you can play them on console too. I played mine on Xbox. It's on
you did?
PlayStation. Yeah.
Frick! I didn't know that.
Oh yeah. That's the only way I've played it.
Oh, well then I have no excuse. Forget my iPad. It's
No.
free to download, right?
I mean, it costs money. I have a disc, but digitally, it's probably very cheap as well.
Okay,
It's
well
not
I don't.
it's not an expensive game, even just buying the disc. I think it was like $20 for the first season,
Okay.
and I think you can get it in a bundle now for like even cheaper of all of them. So
Okay.
know that. Mhm.
This sounds good.
hmm
I like the sound of this. All right. That's something I'm going to have to play downstairs. My wife is not going to dig hearing The Walking Dead on the TV upstairs.
zombies moaning. Yeah.
Brains or something. Yeah. It has to be in the basement.
Mhm.
I almost have her convinced that she can play the Spider-Man game with me. She's never played a game in her life, but she loves Spider-Man movies. And so I might be able to get her interested in that because I really want to play that game. Oh, here's another one. Ann Nocenti's run on Daredevil. That, as far as I can tell, that's only in Epics, but I think a lot of people feel like she deserves an omnibus. So, Crashline's read this week. Luther Strode, Scud the Disposable Assassin. I picked up the collection. I've read Luther Strode, but I have not read Scud. Captain Maakasu. I love the Kevin Smith run, but I might be biased since that was my jumping on point for Daredevil. Well, you love what you love, and I've heard good things about it too. Don't sleep on Silver Age Daredevil. A lot of great artists. Wally Wood, Bill Everett, and Gene Colan. That is the truth. First comic book ever as a kid was Daredevil from Nocenti's run. I want that in an Omni so bad it's silly. Just read the Marvel Knights Omnibus. This is Daredevil. It was a bit uneven, but definitely worth reading. Some important stuff happens, and I really like, the introduction of Echo. Right, okay. Jose from Singapore. A good precursor reading Mark Waid's DD is probably Frank Miller's Born Again run. So you know where and how deep Matt's depression origin source was from. Okay, and here's Jazz Cabbage. I've read the Endman 40. I've read the majority of the first Walking Dead omnibus, and it was great. I hope to finish it sometime soon.
It is very readable. So for anyone who hasn't read it, it's just one of those things you'll fly through. I just happen to not have the rest of the books back when I read it. I'm gonna have to read it again. I'm gonna have to go back. Clementine is the best, Chris. Thank you.
Right. Can't wait for Wade's run on Batman Superman this year.
I can wait.
Everyone should click like. I nearly forgot. That's right, everybody. Please give us a like. Just go down there and like the video and give us a thumbs up or thumbs down, whatever. The algorithm helps us either way. Is the Tilly book with Image?
That's a good question. I assume it would be Skybound.
I thought it was a Skybound book.
Yeah, I think it would have to be. It's in that universe, so I think it would be Skybound.
Aiku has it on PS4. Okay. I love the game. It felt like you were creating a comic as you were playing. That's pretty cool. I can't wait for Spider-Man 2 PS5 exclusive, though. That's a great idea. The Spidey is great to watch along. Thank you, Jazz Cabbage. Everybody be like Jazz Cabbage and thumb us up. I want her to play and really get into it. I think she'd like to watch it, but I don't know. I don't know how the button arrangement is worked out. If it's a button masher, she's not going to want to get into it. But I actually don't know. I don't know anything about the Spider-Man game except that I really want to play it. So 4 hours and I'm halfway done inking this drawing. For those of you that are wondering, you can go to the beginning of the chat and see what Cycle Cleveland's up to. Does anyone in the chat know what the F is going on with Madman Library editions? There were supposed to be 6, now 5. Does it still collect everything? I actually wonder that myself. So anybody that knows, let me know. One of the most anticipated Marvel Omnis for this year is also a tragically depressive hero by Alan Moore, Alan Davis, Miracle Man Omnibus. Jess, have you read the series? Yes, I have the Eclipse paperbacks. I have the three paperbacks, and then the one that Neil Gaiman did that has not been finished. But I also would like to read this in omnibus form. Miracle Man was amazing. Swinging around is easy. She can easily do that at least. Okay, good. That's really good. Good. Thank you. Is it my turn? What did you just talk about?
The wizard? So it may be my turn. Yeah, I think it's my turn.
I think it is because we've been talking about Daredevil for about
That's
45 minutes.
That's right. Forest Folk.
Oh, yeah.
The first book, Picnics and Hijinks by Dax Gordine, something. This was so great. There's a little intro by Scotty Young, which I can totally see similarities in their work, right? This is one of those long books. Little comic strips. I believe he posts these on his Instagram, so you can check them out there. I adored this artwork. I love the story. It is about this little fox guy and his friend who's a little elf boy who doesn't talk. So the fox talks, the boy doesn't talk.
Oh.
And he has this like magic, is it a pen or like a quill? And he can, think of something, or if they need something, he can make it appear. So let's say he needs a rain jacket for the rain. He will draw it and it will appear. So he's got this like little magic element to him. And just their little adventures together in the forest, the people they meet, the hijinks, like it said, what's it called? Picnics and hijinks, exactly, that they get into. And I kickstarted this and it was worth every penny. It was fantastic. Loved it. Yeah, he's got a little quill. You can see there. Little friends, love them. So this is great. This is one of those great ones if you love like Calvin and Hobbes or any of the classic wonderful comic strips. I think this is absolutely for you. Very great all ages strips.
Okie dokie. Just a sec. I need to do something here real quick. Yada dee, yada dee. Whoop. Okie dokie. There. Okay. Okay, Crash Line, I did. I'm just distracted because Rick Nelson just texted me and he wanted to know about She Could Fly. And I said, we're talking about She Could Fly right now. Tune in, dude. Should have been tuning in from the beginning.
Yeah, tell him.
Let's see. 1 second. Okay. I'm here to be super baited and picking up She Could Fly. Well, I talked about it. That was the first book I talked about, Rick. But since
And he talked about it for like an hour, so you may want to go check that out.
yeah, you should. It was the first thing I talked about at about the 21-minute mark. So I don't necessarily want to repeat myself, but I will tell you, go back to about the 22 mark and stuff. It's about a girl suffers from a very severe type of OCD that makes her think she's responsible for a number of tragedies. She's working on her, trying to get healthy with her mental health. And there's a flying woman that appears in the sky that she gets obsessed up with, and she gets involved with a bunch of government agents from our government and the Chinese government because they want the technology that enabled that woman to fly, except she explodes in midair, and it's a whole thing. So go back to like 22 minutes, but first watch the rest of the show, then go back to 22 minutes. I think you'll dig it. Pretty sure you'll dig it. Oh, and here's Joachim rewatching The Amazing Spider-Man. Now, just hoping we actually get one more with Andrew. We got the Snyder Cut. Anything is possible. Oh, this is an answer to this question. Anyone know the best iPad app to digitally ink a drawing? And Balas is saying Procreate. I'll start at the beginning later and enjoy you both live now. You've already sold me, but I'm weak. I like that. Oh, Aiku, you're finally going to get to see Spidey No Way Home. Good for you. Procreate is free. Okay, I'll let the chat talk about that. Forest Folk sounds remarkable.
You're gonna love it.
Okay.
It's so a book that you'll love, yeah.
And I forget, was that a Kickstarter or is it on Amazon?
I kickstarted it, but I'm pretty sure it's going to come out, or maybe it's available on his website. I'll check for you.
Okay, thanks. I definitely want that. That sounds like a book Cycle Cleveland would want too. Stop drawing for a sec, Cycle Cleveland, and get Forest Folk. The next one I read all 6 of and loved the hell out of all 6, and that's Kelly Thompson's Captain Marvel.
You knew you would, right?
Yeah, I was pretty sure I would, and this book is just a joy to read. She's writing Captain Marvel, Carol Danvers. Look at this cover by Mark Brooks. This is so good.
That's a good one.
That just shows her powerful. She, in this one, I have to admit, this is pretty much my starting point on Captain Marvel. I've read earlier Captain Marvels, but I think this is the first one that I've read where it becomes public knowledge that she's half Kree, half human, and she discovers it herself. So they call her Earth's mightiest hero, and she's incredibly strong, incredibly smart. The dialogue is super snappy. If you know Kelly Thompson, you know this is going to be sharply written, very humorous, but action-packed. And you've got a strong female protagonist in it, which I love. And she surrounds herself with strong female protagonists. So there's Jessica Jones, there's Jessica Drew, there's she has a thing going with Rogue because of their earlier Rogue's absorbing of Captain Marvel. You've got She-Hulk in it, who's really awesome. And spoiler alert, she falls in love with Captain Marvel. Falls in love with. Okay, wait a sec. Who's the War Machine guy? Come on, help me out here. Anyway, Rhodey. She falls in love with Rhodey. But on a lot of these, adventures she goes on. In the middle of it, she figures out that she's Cree. It also becomes a public knowledge, and so she's risking her life to fight for people on Earth, yet they consider her an alien. She gets stuck in the middle of a Kree scroll. Those big salad people, I can't think of their name. The Katati. She gets stuck in a thing like that because the Katati come to Earth. And did I say She-Hulk was in this? Because She-Hulk's awesome. Echo is in this. Monica Rambeau. Hazmat, who is new and awesome. They deal with she has some down moments, and her friends are always there to pick her up because she has her own self-doubts, and then when she figures out she's half Kree, half human, then she has even more, because the world she's fighting for starts to turn on her. Then she gets possessed and has this cool costume with an alien intelligence that's really boss. And look at this.
Are you spoiling everything? Is that what's happening right now?
Sorry. I just want to make sure that, I just want to make sure everybody knows how awesome it is. And Iron Man's in it. I'm just telling you characters that are in it. And I'm not just saying they're in it, but they're in it and they're really well written. Like everybody, you can feel the camaraderie, which I think is awesome. That's what was wrong with Strike Force, I felt, was that was a really cool team, 2 different teams in Volume 1 and 2 in Strike Force, but you never really felt like they were a team. But even the people who just show up, like maybe Iron Man and She-Hulk will show up for this particular arc, they'll have enough banter so that you know they're familiar with each other and comfortable with each other and are more of a team. Whereas some other books that are written, you can't really tell that they even know each other and they're fighting. And I mean, that's fair. You can have 3 strangers come together. But in the 6 books that I read, she's familiar with everybody because she's Earth's mightiest hero. And I like it the most when she has a strong A-Force type fighting team, because those are my favorite. Those are my favorite type of teams. When I can have, for some reason, I really like women kicking ass teams, like A-Force, which is one of my all-time favorite comics.
You should love that. Everyone should love that. Okay,
good. Did I spoil it too much? I don't think so. I just said something about salad people.
I mean, you're going pretty deep.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I just got excited about this book. I apologize. There's 6. This was the first thing I read, and I burned through all 6 and loved all 6. This is a solid 5. And I'm not handing those 5s out like candy anymore on Goodreads. Those are going to be hard-earned 5s this year.
Good for you.
But look, here it's spoiling on the back. Who else is there? There's an upside down.
Well, it's not about who else for me. It was just like, and then she gets possessed, and I was like, oh, okay.
But I didn't say who she got possessed by.
Well.
Okay.
I'll forget it. I'll forget it by the time I get to it.
Yeah, right. So yeah, 100% get this book. I can't say anything more about it because I'm Captain Spoilery today, so I apologize. Art is great. Covers are great. All the little back matter. You do get a little bit of back matter. And I'm a huge Captain Marvel fan now. A huge Kelly Thompson fan, even more.
Awesome. Yeah, get those books, or wait for the inevitable omnibus now.
Well, yeah, everybody can wait for the omnibus.
I mean, I'm hoping it really does happen, because we are getting another Captain Marvel Omni. So
Kelly Sue, Captain Marvel,
and that's more of a modern take. So then come on, gift Kelly Thompson an omnibus. What are we waiting for?
I don't know.
Come on now.
Yeah.
This would be the perfect first one, right? Because it has the most issues probably in a run that she's been able to do.
Yeah, I think so. I
right?
think all of the others have been canceled. She's got 2 trades out on Black Widow, but I saw art for number 14 or something. So I think they're letting Black Widow run.
I'll tell you what, though, what would be a great omnibus for Kelly Thompson is just the canceled Kelly Thompson omnibus. They put all the short series that they wouldn't let her keep going with that we still love, right? All in one Omni. I'm not
The
usually
Kelly Thompson Omni.
a hodgepodge Omni like that, but this one would be perfect.
I like exactly what you're saying.
Yeah. Just call it the canceled Kelly Thompson omnibus.
Yeah. Kelly Thompson's runs that should have been more.
Yeah.
Who is she possessed by? Was it a salad person? Is she now mostly kale and Italian dressing? Marcelo, I haven't read Kelly Sue's run. I have a paperback of it, but I haven't read it. So I don't know. I'm sure I'll get the Omni because I don't have very much of it. I feel like she only wrote 1 or 2. No, she wrote more than 1. She wrote 2 or 3 trades, I think. So
it's a very digestible size. I'm probably going to pick that up too.
Call me Top Gun 45. OmniDog with the exquisite lighting makes him look mysterious.
Mm-hmm.
Sorry, just finished the paper for film class. That's what I looked like when I went into the comic show because I had my mask on.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you had it under your nose? What's that about, man? There you
Nothing. It was like this.
There you go.
Barely see.
Put it over your eyes. Yeah.
Yeah, I go in just completely
just
covered.
Put a ski mask on.
Yeah. Thank you for the mysterious compliment. I wish Aftershock would do a collection of a bunch of their shorter 5-issue runs and an oversized hardcover. They have so many good little stories. They do, but I'm a hardcover snob, which is fine. I totally my skincare routine. That's funny, Jazz. Somebody laughed at what you were saying, so there's an LOL for you.
Thank you so much.
I think it was when I was saying I was trying to defend myself with my spoilers. And man, there are a number of modern Marvel series that lasted a long time, but I never hear anyone talk about. This Captain Marvel run is one. Just talked about it. Old Man Logan, we've both talked about it. And Spider-Man Deadpool, Omnibros went over the hardcover that now apparently is out of print and hard to find.
Oh, is it?
That's what I think. I loved that book, and I love that series. I have all those series, which kind of makes me wonder why they haven't been made into Omnis. I thought that I was the Omni maker.
Yeah, what happened?
I don't know. This Captain Marvel run deserves a couple of Omnis. Wait, who's Marvel? Okay, wait. Who's in good? Okay, wait. She's got the best Instagram. Oh, Brie Larson. She's got the best Instagram. She's always working out or cooking or doing something positive. She's in super good shape too. It's really motivational, inspiring, and wholesome. She plays a guitar too. She's literally the best.
Wow.
Wow. You know who I should follow on Instagram is Elizabeth Olsen.
No, she may take out something on you. You shouldn't do that. She's gonna know.
Elizabeth Olsen or Brie Larson?
Elizabeth Olsen. She'll be like, ooh.
I'll never say anything. I'll just follow her.
Oh, okay. So you'll be silently creepy. I got you. Okay.
What?
I got you. All right.
All I said was Elizabeth Olsen. How is that
That's
different
not all
from
you
him
said
and
in
Brie
your
Larson?
life. No, it had.
What's that?
That's not all you've
What?
ever said about her.
If you add it all up, it probably is not a good light on me. No, you're probably right there. Spoilers. Just ordered the question, Omni. Thanks for the recommendation. Also found out that my library just got the Wolverine Volume 1 omnibus in. Wow, that's actually really good. Just as mysterious after all. Olsen is way more icy cold cooler than sunshine positive Larson. Well, I don't want to get into a battle with him. I can follow both and just lurk and not tell Kristan.
You just told everyone. You're just gonna creep behind a bush. It's fine. Okay.
Wow. Okay, whose turn is it to talk about books?
I think it's me.
Good.
Good. I'm just teasing you.
Oh, I know.
You know that. I'm your daughter.
Of
I
course.
tease you. You know.
Yeah, daughters tease fathers. Yeah. You're
Just
the Omni
confuse
daughter.
that guy further.
No, I'm fine.
Foxfires.
Oh yeah, now that book looked interesting to me too.
Yes. As a recap, because I'm not going to say this properly, so I'm going to read some of the back. The Foxfires are a gate between our world and the land of the dead, allowing souls to visit their loved ones. But suddenly, the Foxfires disappear. A young raccoon dog heads north to find out what happened to the firefox, whose burning fur is said to make the Foxfires appear in the sky. So she does that. On her journey, she meets a lot of different, animals in the woods that she experiences. She's journeying off on her own for the first time. There's an owl. Everybody talks. They're, anthropomorphic, I suppose. And it's just such a fun journey. You meet all kinds of different animals. You care about them. You get your feelers all up and everything.
Beautiful art.
Beautiful art. I absolutely love this, and I can't wait for the next book. So good.
Where did you get this?
This is also a Kickstarter, but you can get it. It's from Rocket Ship. So if you look up that publisher, I believe you can order it there. And I think this is on pre-order on Amazon. It comes out in a few months, I think. So
I will just copy what I put in the first video. Rocket Ship sounds familiar now.
There's also a ribbon. Oh, come on now. There's a ribbon, shiny, nice cover, and yeah, beautiful art. I love this. This is my favorite of the 5.
Oh, nice.
This and Forest Folk were my 2 favorites, but this was so good.
Yeah, both of those look really good to me.
I think you'll love it.
Okay. I ran out of time for both of these books, but I wanted to read them enough to get a taste of them, and whether or not I could recommend them. Since I haven't finished them, well, okay, let me start with Scales and Scoundrels. I haven't finished the second book, so I can't say how the whole series is. It's a 2-book series. But so far, what I've read is this is a mysterious girl who likes to wander. I haven't got to what she has. Okay, wait. I don't want to spoil this. Wait. Let me back up. Okay. She's a wanderer and a gambler, and is always up for adventure. She meets up with a band, a prince, the prince's guard, and a dwarf that came along the way. So she meets a group after escaping this town where they tried to cheat her out of her money. I don't want to say what happens, but maybe this girl's got a little more magical stuff going on than you're led to believe. They are in search of treasure. So that's the recap. Possible magical girl meets fellow travelers, goes on a journey looking for treasure, and all the encounters. And there's lots of bandits in this book. Everybody's on the path to take your money away from you. There's no place safe from bandits. So it's not enough, I don't think, in this book to travel with one. If you're a prince, to travel with one guard, you need like 40 guards because they're getting ambushed all over the place in this book. And of course, due to her Lavender, which I love that name, she's a treasure hunter. She saves people a lot in spite of just being one person. I loved what I read of this so far. I still need to read book 2. I totally dug this and can see why so many people enjoy it, but I can't give it a complete review yet. I don't think it'd be fair. The art is really the art is great. I really dig this kind of art. So far, I would give this a solid 4 out of 5, and maybe some shading of 4.3, 4.4. The only reason I can't give it a 5 is because I don't know whether book 2 dips or not. But this book, I highly loved this book. I can totally recommend it. But I guess I'd wait until I read the second book to give a complete description of it, a complete rating of it. So, yeah.
That's great. You can rate that book. Yeah. I felt the same, 100%. I gave it a 4 out of 5. Really enjoyed it. Love the art. So it was a very good time. I also felt the same about the second book.
Okay, good.
The only issue is we don't know if there's going to be more or not yet.
Oh, okay.
So I hope they sell well enough that we can get some more.
I didn't TKO. I have to stretch my legs just a sec. Didn't TKO just sign a big publishing deal with somebody? I feel like I saw that in one of the chats.
Yeah, there was some kind of exclusive something they did. I can't remember exactly.
Like give them more distribution and get the books into the hands of more people in an easier way.
I'll look it up. I did want to say, I sent you the link. You can go to raidpress.com if you want to get Forest Folk, for those who are interested.
Okay.
So that's where you can get that. And
I'm sure that was what I did in the first video. I put everything in the description so people could get the books. Carl is experiencing the blizzard, which looks brutal up there. There's nothing better than some quality comic talk during a blizzard. Where are you from, Carl? Are you in New England or somewhere on the beach in New England? Thanks for the stream, folks. It is really, we just got skirted. We only got half an inch here. It's super
that's
cold
about what we got. Yeah.
It's super cold and windy, but I mean, I like snow, but I don't like the word blizzard because to me that means power going out.
Yeah.
I don't dig that.
I don't like snow when it's going to dip down to freezing after, which is what happened last night. And I had to drive home on ice, which I hate. So, yeah.
How is your knee doing?
It's okay. It's definitely feeling better. I go to physical therapy next week, so I have to start that. Hopefully that'll help me. But yeah, that's my ice injury.
Yeah. That's scary that both things that happened to you and Reed. How's he doing?
He's good. He's good. His car's still in the shop, but he's good. So that's good. Yeah, I was leaving work last night and it snowed and then it was freezing. So this parking lot was icy again. And I was like, I swear. So I like barely walked all the way to my car.
Inched your way to your car.
Yeah, it was bad.
Yeah, I get it.
I've got like trauma from it, I swear. It really freaks me out now.
It's scary to slip and fall.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a lot of snow where Dofi is. Where are you guys located? I'm assuming somewhere in New York, New England. I don't envy you. I see. I love turning on the Weather Channel and seeing those guys out in the middle of the blizzard reporting. Like you can't even hear them. They're like,
And they're like
"I'm-"
flying away, like fighting the wind. And I'm just like, why would you do that?
I
Like,
know what.
I hate that for you.
I guess that makes it more real than if one of them was sitting in front of a fireplace, going,
Sure.
opening up the window and go, look out there. It's really bad. Because Mike Seidel, the Weather Channel guy, it was like up past his knees and he was completely covered over and just the wind was pounding on him.
Oh,
And they always do that for everything. Hurricanes,
tsunamis and stuff.
snowstorms.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're right
Everything.
in the middle of that.
I feel for them. Every time I see them, I'm like, this person, I hope they got a raise for this. Like, they need a bonus for this or something because this is crazy. Like,
Combat pay.
yeah.
Have you ever seen, you've seen Thunder Snow, right?
No,
Oh, you haven't seen Thunder Snow?
I don't know what that is.
Jim Cantori, I guess, I don't know if they're famous or not, but he's one of the more recognizable Weather Channel guys. He's been there forever. And I'll find the link and send it to you. He was in a spot where Thunder Snow went off. He got Thunder Snow 6 times. So it's rare to even see it once in your life. I've had it happen twice here in Virginia, where it's snowing really hard and you get thunder with it. That's a really rare occurrence. So he's live on the air and he goes bonkers crazy over the fact that he's heard 6 Thunder Snow eruptions. Wow. They're so rare. And somebody did a thing called Songify this, where it made him seem like he was in the most dramatic war video ever, where he's almost fighting with this. He's celebrating the snow, but it's really dramatic. The way they songified it, it's called Songify, and I'll find the link because Patty and Kelly and I sing that to each other all the time. Thunder, snow, lightning strikes, holy smoke. It's so funny. And then I saw a thing on the Weather it was either the Weather Channel or like Good Morning America. This thing got really popular and they showed it to him. And it does sort of poke fun at him, but the way he's acting seems kind of outrageous once it gets songified. But if you knew how rare Thunder Snow was, you'd see why he was so excited.
That's funny. Yeah, I want to see that. Send that to me.
Oh, yeah. I'll send it to you as soon as we're done.
Awesome.
Here's some people that, Jose, talking to you.
Oh, please take care, Kristan, and best of luck in your therapy. Thank you so much. That's very nice. I see Flushes bragging, too.
Yeah.
What's that about?
What is that about? Slip and fall? Scared to slip and fall? Psst, I wear Crocs on a wet and icy deck all the time. I've only completely wiped out twice. No effect. Totally fine.
I mean, I don't know why you're bragging about it, but okay.
Are you sure there was no effect?
Did you get a concussion or two?
Yeah. Here's a real question. Elvis Parker, Jess, would you say New Mutants is a good starting place for someone who hasn't read any of Claremont's X-Men? The answer is yes, 100%. I read it and loved it and found it. I read it straight through. It's very thick, but I read it straight through in a couple days. It's well written. It's really fun. It's got really cool characters. I think I like those kind of books more than I like X-Men. I like the Young Mutants books more, like X-Force and stuff like that, more than I really like X-Men even. I don't know why. Maybe because they're young and goofing up sometimes and they finally learn and they're able to come together as a team. But the answer is 100% yes, because I haven't read any of Claremont's X-Men 1 through 4 or with the Jim Lee 1 through 2. I haven't read any of that, and I understood it perfectly fine, and I loved the heck out of it. I gave it an honorable mention it was Best Omnibus for 2021 for me. I love that book. Love it, love it, love it. I can't wait for volume 2, which is coming out quite soon.
It's another one I got to read this year. It's on my list.
Oh, yeah, it's so good. Crashline had thunder snow a few days back. Temps today are insane. Crashline, where are you? Negative 27 Celsius? What is that number? What does Celsius mean?
Sounds so American.
I know.
Celsius.
We're like the only ones doing Fahrenheit, us
Yeah.
and like Easter Island or something.
What are centimeters? What's going on?
We're like the only two that are still doing not the metric system
Yeah.
and not Celsius. Can somebody tell me out there what negative 27 Celsius is in Fahrenheit in real temperature? No, I'm kidding. Thunder Snow sounds like an awesome Thor variant.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
I only see stars when I look at light. Okay.
Love
Well,
that.
you're okay, Flush, then. Canada, bro. Negative 17.
No, thank you.
She speaks
No.
for both of us.
I feel for you. That sucks.
What is the temperature when you can't drive? Like your engine oil freezes up. That sounds dangerous to me. Like you shouldn't even walk outside. Your eyeball fluid would freeze. Ooh. This I believe. I think you could do damage. First appearance of the god of thunder snow. Definitely needs to be in the Kate's run. I have one book left. So do you have one book left or 2 books left?
One book left, so I think it's your turn.
Oh, it's my turn?
I think, yeah. Yeah.
Okay. I read Far Sector.
You did it.
First of all, this is the bossest Green Lantern uniform with those. Let me find a good picture with her. Here it is.
Yeah, that whole costume was fantastic.
It's so good. I love the glasses on her. There's her outfit, and it's hard to well, let me see if I can explain it. Her name is Sojourner Mullen. They call her Joe. She's the only Green Lantern in this sector, which is way far away. That's why it's called Far Sector. But it's not 100% powered like you would think Guy Gardner's or Hal Jordan's rings would be. And she's got a lot of the basics down as far as being a space cop, so to speak. But she's also she can will herself to fly, but then she'll lose concentration and be afraid and start dropping out of the sky. So she's not like a flawless personality. She's still learning, and she's still learning how to become a Green Lantern and master all her power and emotions. The artwork in this is really, really solid. And she goes to a place where there's 3 worlds that moved together, stopped fighting, and it's called the City Enduring. A booming metropolis at the edge of the universe hasn't experienced a violent crime in generations. The emotion exploit has erased the citizens' full range of feelings, allowing 3 resident races to overlook their turbulent history and coexist peacefully until now. So there's one planet where they are, and there's a council of these 3 different races. And she has to go in and figure out. There are peace officers on this planet, but they don't. they don't really know what to do as far as this murder goes. So while she's there, okay, I don't want to give away too much because I'm Captain Spoilers. So she runs into there are agendas on this world, and she runs into them. Supposedly 3 different races have had their emotions taken away. So I guess like they're Vulcan, so they peacefully coexist. But she runs into things like police brutality and some behind the scenes stuff, so that it's not all that it appears to be. These murders, she has to deal with the fact that these people don't have emotions, so they react differently. But then there's this new drug that, I forget, it's called like Buzzkill, or what's a Switch Off, I think it's called, where you take the drug and it lets you feel emotions. So there's that factor too. There's like a sort of rebellion going on of people that want to feel their emotions. But I can't say more. I can't say what she experiences without giving too much of it away. I think that she's surprised a lot of the time at what these people are capable of. I think she. Okay, I don't want. I don't want to spoil. It's great. First of all, I loved this book. I loved everything about it. I loved her. But I can't say too much more. I've given you the basics. Stuff goes on. So yeah, if I said anything more, I'd spoil it. But she runs into trouble on this planet, and it's up to her nascent powers and her deductive reasoning and her ability to control her emotions that's going to help her. And it's written by
N.K. Jemisin.
Right. Now, have you read their work at all? They are an author?
Yeah, big author. I haven't read any of it, but
Okay.
big sci-fi author.
Okay. It's a young animal, which I thought was interesting. Gerard Way's imprint.
Remember how I told you I have a lot of thoughts on this?
Go.
Okay. It's my first ever Green Lantern book. I have no experience with the character. Okay.
Okay.
Not that matters, because it's totally different. I know. I really liked it. Love the art. But there's a huge thing in it I absolutely hated. And I cringed every time it was mentioned. And this book is not going to live up to time changing because of it. And that is the memes. The whole meme nonsense.
The meme race?
Every time I cringed. I was like, this is terrible. Like, everything else of this is really good. This is awful. And I hated that part. Yeah, there's a whole race that is memes pretty much. It's just like they run on memes. There's a meme factory. Like there's a whole meme thing. And I'm like, this isn't going to hold up to the test of time. And also it's cringy. I couldn't get over it. Like her friend that had the terrible name. I can't even remember what it was. LOL something something can has cheeseburger or something. I was just
yeah.
Why? Everything else, I'm behind and I like it.
Wasn't it like LOL Earth has cheeseburger or something? Or?
It was something weird. I can't even remember. But every time I read it, I was like, I'm just cringing. It was so cringy to me.
Okay.
So cringy to me.
I didn't pick up on that because I just thought it was an interesting way to have a race that ran on the people were basically the internet, like in personified, except for the meme, but they were like living memes. They talked in memes and everything they did was in meme form. So I just thought it was an interesting way for there to be a race of people. It didn't occur to me that how badly it would age in 4 or 5 years.
And, not every book has to age well. That's fine. But mostly I just felt it was very, like, it felt so forced because it was so
Okay.
cringy to me,
Yeah.
So every time I read it, it was like everything else I can get behind in this, everything else felt super modern and like interesting and very different. Like I said, I love the art. I liked her as a character. I think there's a lot of deeper meaning to a lot of what they were showing, which I loved,
Yeah.
So piggybacking on that and everything great it was doing, there's this weird meme thing the whole time, and I'm like, I can't. So and I've heard some other people, felt the same, and maybe you didn't, and that's awesome, right? But that was one thing I just like, it kept preventing me from saying I loved it, because I'm like, there's this meme thing going on,
Right, and
I couldn't handle.
There are current day issues to get worked into this. I thought really well.
Oh yeah.
So it didn't. I don't know. I just took it at face value. But what you're saying makes complete sense. Would it have been better? I like the idea of a race that, like, is the internet or
feeding
is
off of like internet culture. Yeah.
Sorry.
Like feeding off of internet culture or something. Yeah.
Yeah. So they could be like the internet personified, where they could go to. They could pull up any information. Like there was a line here in the earliest part that said something like, "What? Why haven't you found that yet? You are the internet," or something like that. It was the woman that, or the organic being that was on the council. It made reference to the fact that, like, why haven't you come up with that info yet? It's like, you are social media or something else.
I'm seeing some chatter in the chat about like memes dying. I don't mean memes dying. I think there's a lot of memes that are going to live on forever. Absolutely. And I don't hate memes. It's not about that. Like Jess and I share memes all the time, right? Like I'll send you, all the time. It's the fun part of the internet. Yeah. But the way that she did it, like with the character's name, especially the character's name felt dated to me, right? Because that cheeseburger thing was like 10 plus years ago now, right? So I think that on top of the way it was done is really what got me. It felt cringy to me.
Oh,
and maybe because
her name was at.
Yeah. Okay.
Symbol at.
Well, there was like a weird
blaze of glory.
There was at some point a cheeseburger reference for sure.
Right. Yeah, there was,
because we keep talking about it, but I can't remember what it was. But yeah, at was just like, I don't know, and that character in general, because of it personifying that whole thing,
right?
And the way she referenced her and the way they talked, it was just like, okay, I can't. Every time that part happened, it threw me out of the story. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, I totally get it now. Now I see what you're saying. Okay, the book is ruined for me now. Okay.
Coffee Top Gun 45 is saying, author, I'll use a meme. Hello, fellow kids. Yeah, that's kind of that's exactly how I felt reading it. It felt like, here's a modern thing. And it didn't feel modern because of that, versus they got so much, great modern issues done at the same time as trying to personify the internet in this thing, and I just didn't think it worked. I think it could have been done differently.
I can see exactly what you're saying. It's like she was like the other race that coexists peacefully here is the AOL clan. Hang on a sec, she's docking. We need to listen to the sound.
Yeah, exactly that.
Yeah. Okay. I get what you're saying now. Okay. Well, I focused on Sojourner, and I liked her a lot as a character. I liked the limitations they sort of put on her to make her a little more vulnerable. And the fact that she was a newbie, sort of, and that she was all putting it together as it was a big case for like first case. So I felt it was really I liked it a lot, but I totally see what you're saying now.
But I also really liked it still, regardless of that. But
Yeah.
But I was like, once you read that, I wanted to talk to you about it because I was just like, oh no, what is this?
There's a question for you, but I'm gonna. Here's greetings from Spain. This channel is amazing. Right on, man. Thank you. Wait, there was somebody that asked. Let me answer a question. What era is good to start reading X-Men? I started with New X-Men by Grant Morrison. Then I read Astonishing X-Men by Joss Whedon. Read those two books. And if you don't, those are two of the best X-Men books in my collection. See how I didn't say ever? So you can't argue with me. They're the best X-Men books in my collection. They are remarkable. They got me into X-Men, Grant Morrison, Joss Whedon. I then went on to Uncanny X-Force, and I feel like there should be something in the middle, something after Astonishing that gives you more information going into Uncanny X-Force. But start with New X-Men and Astonishing, and you will be happy. They're the books that got me into the X-Men, made me care about the X-Men, made me buy everything by the X-Men, and now I've sold half of it off, but I've kept what I really like.
I'm going to second Astonishing for sure. It's also like a very digestible length of a run versus New X-Men's a little quite lengthier, right?
It is, yeah.
So if you want to just hop in one and try it, that's what I would recommend.
Okay, good. Here's a question for you.
How hard is it to find older John Allison comics? I found it impossible, Elvis. Unfortunately, I want a lot of that stuff that was in print that was barely had a print run. But what I've ended up doing is he has a Gumroad account, and you can purchase digitally all of those older comics for very cheap. So if you're wanting to read them, that is the way to do it.
Gumroad. Should that have been the name of the woman in Far Sector? Gumroad?
It's better.
What is Gumroad? I don't know.
You can put up like your digital things for sale on it. So a lot of people will use it for comics and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you could just purchase through there. So check out his Gumroad account if you're wanting to just read them. Because if anyone else knows a way to find those older comics, like I've Googled, I've checked eBay, I've looked around, and
what are some of the names of these books? Can you think of a couple offhand?
I mean, all his old, like, there's a series, Scary Go Round, that had a limited print run for all of those books. Those are all gone. I don't know. I can't think of all the names, but he had a lot of, like, shorter one-shots back in the day that he had a limited print run, and then that was it. So it's just, like, there was probably a very small print run, because they were, like, smaller comics.
Okay.
And
when he was starting out? This is when he was first starting out?
Yeah, okay. It's old stuff, yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm sorry about that. This is for you.
Oh, good critique. Kudos to the. Thank you so much.
The Kristan verse. We don't talk about the Kristan verse enough. It's kind of dropped off. We need to get the Kristan verse back in to our regular chat language, our regular show language, rather. Darkwave Fairy is a teacher, apparently. I asked my class if they knew what a chat room was. They had no idea. One said AOL.
Yep, change of the times, right? Like,
yeah. AOL. The handshake. That's what it was called when it would connect. You'd connect to the internet. Needs to do the handshake. This is a good point. Don't forget X-Men Grand Design to summarize the early stuff. Hulk Grand Design comes out in March, same deal. I loved X-Men Grand Design. Did you read it?
I didn't. I got those for read, but I haven't read them myself.
I really liked it a lot because it did sum up everything up to like 1983 1995 or something, 1990. And it summed it up, and it was a great cohesive story. I still have the big Treasury editions or whatever they are. I didn't get the Omni. I recommend that too. That's a good. Flesh still has his marbles from his falls to recommend this. It didn't knock that good information out. Uh-oh, Cycle Cleveland in trouble. He didn't pencil a Batman symbol on the chest. What do I supposed to do? Freehand it? Yeah, buddy. Let's see. Let's soon deep Jess and OmniCat. What's your must-read top 5 writers? Writers must read. Okay.
Okay. Jeff Lemire for me, except Plutona.
Tom Taylor for me.
Tilly Walden.
Kelly Thompson.
Kay O'Neill.
That's a good one.
We're both like looking around.
I know, I am looking around. I keep seeing Tom Taylor books all over the place. I have liked. Okay, wait. I feel like I've loved everything by Brubaker except for that X-Men comic that I tortured with root beer. It was so awful. So I'll say Brubaker. I pretty much love all his stuff.
Kyle Starks.
Ooh.
I'm a little biased, but I do love Kyle Starks.
But I agree. I see that. Greg Rucka would be number 4.
And I think I have to end it with the manga writer Naoki Urasawa, because I'll read anything by Urasawa. So,
for those of us who don't know what he's written, what are some of the titles?
Monster, Pluto, 20th Century Boys.
Oh, okay. Mark Waid.
Good list.
Thank you. The only reason I'm not putting Tom King in there is because as much as I loved Batman, his Batman run, and I loved it, I saw that there were some, it wasn't an A+ all the way through. It did dip in quality a little bit with some things. Other things I loved. But I feel like a lot of people that it's Tom King writes best with like 12-issue runs when you keep it really tight. So that's why I didn't say him, even though I love Batman and a lot of people didn't. So if we had to do a top 10, then Tom King would be in there. Let's do a top 10. Okay, I named Tom King. He's my number 6. Who's your number 6?
Who is my number 6?
I know, we're looking around.
And I'm like, I mean, I feel like Ito would be up there too.
Okay.
I'll keep throwing manga at you.
With that. I'll say, wait, I just had it. Neil Gaiman.
Okay. We're just going to keep going.
Yeah, we're just going to go till 10 of them.
Patrick McDonnell.
Oh, whoa, what a good one.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. Can I just say Tom Taylor for the rest of my...
Yes. Because you will.
Warren Ellis.
Brian K. Vaughan.
Ooh, I'm going to say Brian K. Vaughan also.
You're not allowed.
I'm not allowed?
I'm just kidding. No,
okay.
if we can repeat, you'll take that one. I'll take Kelly Thompson too, because I'm going to read all the Kelly Thompson.
we'll repeat there. Ooh, Spurrier. Yeah. Spurrier's in there. Right. Who's going next? You or me?
I don't know.
We've lost track. We're just naming our favorite writers now.
Oh,
Jonathan Hickman, because I've loved everything I've read by him so far. There, and I feel like I've read everything. Pretty certain I've read everything by Hickman.
Kat Leigh, who did Snapdragon and Thirsty Mermaids, because
Snapdragon was
they're
so
2 for 2. Yeah, I mean,
good.
adored those.
Yeah, Snapdragon was so good. Did I already say Spurrier? Cy Spurrier?
Yeah,
I already said that?
you read it in the chat, I thought.
Oh, and I agreed with it? I already said
Well-
Mark Wade. I'd say Rick Remender, but he's kind of hit or miss. He's like either a big hit or why did I read this? And I happen to be a fan of Bendis.
I am too.
I do like Bendis. And as far as like, I don't think I can talk about Donny Cates or I feel like I need to read more by Donny Cates. And, I love Jason Aaron, but I've heard his some people don't care for his Avengers. And the only thing I've read by Jason Aaron, I think, is Thor. But no, no. All is Wolverine and X-Men. If this had been, we had done this 5 years ago, it would have been Alan Moore would have been the first for me. But now that I reread a lot of Alan Moore, it's kind of creepy.
Oh yeah, I agree. I very much agree.
Don't you dare put that out in the universe, Marcelo. How dare you?
I'm just gonna throw in 3 that I just thought of because we're not counting at this point. Brenna Thumler.
Oh yeah.
Anything she ever comes out with, I'm gonna read. Ezra Clayton Daniels. I feel exactly the same. He did Upgrade Soul.
Oh.
He did Bottom Feeders. I loved both of them. And Abby Howard. Everything I've read from Abby Howard, who I discovered last year, has been gold. So there's some good ones.
Kurt Busiek. I will say I have not read anything in my life. Personally, I have not read anything that is less than great by Kurt Busiek.
Oh, Terry Moore. Even though I hate it ever, but I'm still going to read everything that comes out by him.
I haven't read that.
You should, so we can talk about it.
Oh, that's one of those books. Okay.
I threw it at Maddie. I was like, you have this. I don't want it. I shipped it to her. I was like, you can have it for free. I don't want this.
Here's a good name. Gene Yang. Loved everything by him.
I agree.
Eric Powell. Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't read Three Jokers, but I've read everything else Jeff Johns has done and really, really, really liked it. There was a time before Three Jokers. Oh, and Doomsday Clock, which I still have it, so I must care for it. But I don't feel like it was his best. It wasn't like JSA or Green Lantern or Batman Earth One, which was one of my all-time favorite books. Oh, his Flash was great. Oh, Mike Allred. I love Mike Allred. I love everything Mike Allred's ever even thought of. Whatever his thoughts are, I like them. I don't know what they are yet, but I'm going to go up to him in a convention and just say, "What are you thinking right now?" And he'll tell me, and I'll say, "Genius. I'll have that for lunch too." Ram V. Yep. Al Ewing. Yeah. hasn't done it for me in 22 years, 20 longer than that, because Dark Knight Strikes came out in 2000. So I think it's been almost 30 years since I've read something I liked by Frank Miller. I think 300 was the last thing I read by him that I liked. I actually haven't read enough by Chris Claremont. I've only read New X-Men. Sorry, I've only read New Mutants, and maybe some random Young Mutants type things. Sorry, I'm not a good source for recommending Chris Claremont stuff. That's on me. Gail Simone. People chiming in on Mike Allred. Yep, I love Gail Simone, that's for sure. Scotty Young. Marjorie Liu. She's good. Also, what's Tamaki's first name?
Mariko.
Mariko Tamaki.
Yeah.
She's
I
also
agree with that.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of people chiming in here. Jeff Parker's also good. Marguerite Bennett is good. Dan Abnett. Tomasi. I don't think. Ride Chancellor says Daniel Warren Johnson.
Yes. I agree.
I'm on a strike against P. Bag for his just signing that Holiday Inn memo pad and throwing it in my box that got almost thrown away with the invoice. So I love everything he's ever done, but I'm still angry. So I know my wife says I hold grudges too long. This grudge, I'm going to give it 2 years before I let go of it. But I will let go of it. But it's going to take a couple of years. Peter David. Well, okay, we should go Crashline's right. We all are so lucky. Look at all these amazing creators. Since he's here, we forgot to say Raid Chancellor.
That's right, Chris.
Author of the book right behind you.
That's right.
While Brian Azzarello wrote my all-time favorite Batman story, he also wrote my all-time most hated Batman story. That said, he was a very nice guy to talk to. When I went up to him at Baltimore Con and told him how great the Batman Flashpoint story was, I did not mention Batman Damned. He did not want to hear my thoughts on that.
You know, since we're being so positive about comic writers,
I was just going to say, are we going on our 5 worst? Is that where you're even going?
I'm actually just going to share my last book, but we can do the worst.
You didn't do your book? I'm sorry.
I'm going to share my book, and then we could do the worst. That's a good idea. Because this is by Matt Fraction.
Oh,
State.
Yeah, I was interested in this book because of it's got a cool format. It looks really boss.
So big and square. It's far bigger than my head. I hated this book.
Oh.
So, here's the deal. It's about a guy who there's a lot of technology involved, and basically, I mean, is there a thing I could read? Is that going to help? I don't even think there is. He's living in this world now where, like, there's a wall around all humans, okay? And he has to trace the path of the moon every day, but he's not sure why he's doing it. He takes these pills, as everyone has to, every single day. He has a space helmet on there, right? They all do. So he's living in this, like, futuristic world where you finally kind of discover that, like, something happened with information on the internet, where he used to work at this company, and he pretty much docks the whole world. Okay? So
what?
he doxed the whole world. So he let out all the information on everyone that was online.
Oh, docs, DOX.
Doxed, yeah.
Okay.
The entire world, which caused a lot of issues, as you can maybe imagine. But he thought it was a great idea for some reason, because like the company was gonna weaponize everyone's information anyway. So he's like, well, I'll just let it all out there. And they're like, oh my gosh, this isn't the way. So then you see everyone's lives falling apart because everything ever that they've ever Googled or like that they've ever, done on the internet, passwords, social security numbers, just everything is out there. So the world falls apart. And then, basically this company takes over and there's a wall around everyone and they're all kind of stuck in there. And I'll tell you what.
I hate this book too, just from your description.
I hated it. Like, I didn't even care for the main character. I didn't feel for him at all. I did like the art and the color work. I enjoyed that. I sort of like the panel layouts. They were interesting and different. And I won't tell you what happens, but also what happened. I'm not even really positive what happened. I know how it ended, but I was just like, what did I just read and why did I read it? And I didn't care about the story at all. And I didn't like this book and I'm bothered, but I'm so glad that I didn't pay a lot of money for it. It was clearance. Now I know why. It's signed, very cute signature. Oh, it says hi, buddy, because everyone in this universe is called Buddy. So they go, everybody, and they talk to you through like, hey, buddy. And I'm like, I hate this. Like, it just became grating. Like, every time I would read Buddy, I'd be like, ugh. Or they'd be like, everybody says that. I'm like, ugh, I hate it. Like, I don't, I'm going to get rid of this book. I'm not keeping this. I'm not doing it.
Wow.
So, I don't recommend reading it. But it is on Hoopla, so if you're very curious for some reason, I know a lot of negative reviews make me want to read books. So if you're like, hey, I still think I should read it, well, then go ahead. It's on Hoopla. Don't, spend your money. Just grab that on Hoopla. Although you can find it for very clearanced out, apparently. Wonder why.
Well, that was your take. Wow.
Keeping it positive,
I kind of, I don't know. We could mention, I don't know if I want to, wait. I don't know if I really want to get into the writers I don't like, but I'm not a big fan. Anyway, I'll do it anyway.
You could do books. And just because we didn't like a book by someone doesn't mean we didn't like their whole catalog, right? I mean, we've experienced that a lot, I think.
Yeah. I don't.
It's like Matt Fraction wrote this, but I loved his Hawkeye, as everyone did.
Yeah.
I hated this garbage, though. Someone's gonna get mad I said garbage. I called a book garbage once and they were like, how dare you? And I'm like, look, I didn't like it. If you like it, I love that for you. I'm good. Like, it's just an opinion. Like, this got a very nice format. So someone must have thought it, it was that great that it deserved a nice hardcover. So maybe you want this. Awesome for you. I didn't like it.
I loved it when you put it on your head. You're like shadowing, trying to get away from it. Rose Gray joining us, just waking up. Nice. Yeah, I think you're right. Like Kirkman, there's some books like I like Invincible, what I've read of it, but then there are a bunch of things that I don't like by Kirkman. So I can't say that I just don't like Kirkman. So I don't know. Steve Orlando, wasn't a big fan of. I think he wrote Justice League or Rebirth. I didn't care for that. Or the only thing that I really loved by Steve Orlando was his Midnighter run, which was actually great. So I'm just looking at the chat real quick. I don't know. Every writer that keeps getting assignments must appeal to somebody on a big scale, because otherwise they wouldn't keep getting assignments, I don't think, right?
I mean, that's not necessarily true, right? Well, I think that's where this becomes hard, right? People
Yeah.
have varying opinions on things.
Right.
So even if we're like, this writer's the worst, like someone loves that writer.
Yeah,
I
right.
don't know why, but they do, right?
Somebody loves that writer.
Someone loves Solid State, right? To bring it back. Like, someone loves this book, and they're like, this is the best book. And I'm like, I don't understand it, but that's great.
It sure is a beautiful format, that
I
book.
agree. And I did really like the art. So kudos to the artist. You know, and it's based on an album, which I did not listen to because I was already like bothered by it. I was like, I'm not going to listen to this. So maybe the album's good. I don't know.
Were you supposed to? Were you supposed to listen to it afterwards or listen to it along with it?
It didn't say anything about it other than it's based on it.
It's based on the album.
It's based on the concept, I guess. So Jonathan Colton had the concept, written by Matt Fraction, art by Albert Montes. So like Albert ruled. Good for Albert.
Okay.
Lettering by Bearbank, like the lettering too. So,
that's a good point, because a lot of these books, I noticed the lettering in them, how good it was in a lot of these books. And so I know lettering's not the sexiest subject, but it's also an important subject.
oh yeah.
Because if it's not done well, you're not going to dig the book. There's a certain kind of lettering you immediately look at and say fanzine or something. It's like, what?
One, I think that's unfair to fanzines. There could be like fanzines. I know what you mean though. Like if there's bad lettering, you notice it more than maybe anything else because you're reading the words, right? Like I know when I've opened a book and I've been like, I can't even understand or read this, and this does not look good. Like it's bothered me. Even like some books have cursive still in the bubbles, and I'm like, what are we doing? Like, because that's difficult, right?
This one book that I just ripped apart, the spoiler alert in my, wait, where'd it go? Oh, it's down here at the bottom of the pile as far as books that I couldn't stand. It had in the middle, look at this, I'm supposed to read this. In the middle, she finds a journal that's all in cursive.
What is that?
Or not even cursive, just fancy. It's not really cursive, but it's close. And I was like, I'm not reading this. I could be up eating cheesecake or something. Why do you want me to read this whole soliloquy on nonsense?
There's a whole dissertation. Like, what is that?
Yeah, I didn't make it through it, but you'll see that on the video. But
what's the book?
Black Stars Above.
I'm not reading that.
No.
Nobody got time.
No. But yeah, a lot of these books, all of them that we just talked about, the lettering was not only nice and clean, and I apologize to fanzines for saying that. I was just trying to, I know that fanzines are important, and we'll just say bad lettering that we don't dig. But I always love it when somebody does, in some of these books, like Captain Marvel, I think, or some of these other books, when Thor shows up and they do the way he speaks and sort of the old style that he talks in. He doesn't say verily or anything, but he'll say, do you have more coffee or whatever? And it's lettered in those special Thor letters. To me, that really adds a flavor to it, that it's like, this is Thor. He's talking like this. And then you'll get alien languages that are scripted really cool, that the letterer must have gone over with the writer to say, is this what you mean? Does this look good? And the writer says, absolutely. And some of that alien text can look really cool. So I think letterers and colorists generally don't get enough praise, but they're like the glue on the spine of an Omni. They hold it all together perfectly. And if it's off, lettering or coloring, you're not going to dig it. Like the digital recoloring of Neil Adams stuff, that's what didn't work for me at all. But I mean, I could go through some of these books and look for examples, but lettering is an important part to make it enjoyable.
Absolutely.
Let's see. Oh dear.
That's a good point. Such a good point.
It's true. Have you had writers who surprised you with a good book after reading something that you didn't care for? Doffy answers the question for me. It's exactly right. Now, when the Outlaws left, I wasn't interested in it anymore. But those first 4 Rebirth books all have the Outlaws, and it's super fun. The Outlaws are the best part. What are your favorite Grant Morrison titles? New X-Men, All-Star Superman, Joe the Barbarian, Sea Guy. I'm sure I'm missing something.
Mine is Claws.
Oh, Claus, yeah. What a great book. What a great series. That's a all ages series, I feel like.
Yeah.
For some of the violence, maybe?
There's maybe a little bit of violence, maybe
Yeah.
not. But
Okay. Yeah.
but mostly, yeah.
Right. I would not recommend Nameless by Grant Morrison. That was a ponderous book. I did not understand a single thing that went on in there.
That's the one where you had to like read 5 dictionaries and travel to like the equator or something, and then like dive into the ocean to find a buried treasure to get the key that unlocks a library where you have to read 4 more books, right? Like,
keep going. That was awesome. That's exactly right. You had to have all this addendum
it's
stuff
too much.
to understand it. And I was like, hey, I just want to read this book and understand it. I don't want to
have
read
fun.
5 other books to know what's going on in here. You tell me what's going on in here. Oh, that was so great. Jess and OmniCat, what are titles that surprised you after reading their book that you hated? Well, I think both of us didn't care. Hate's a strong word, but I don't think either of us cared for Plutona. And we were surprised at that.
Yeah.
Were you surprised that you hated the Matt Fraction book?
It's hard to say I was surprised, I guess. I read some Sex Criminals, which I liked.
Mm-hmm.
And so then I read Hawkeye and I loved that. So maybe I did expect to enjoy it, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I can't say I was super surprised though, because I was like, there's always a chance. I don't know. There's always a chance.
So. Yeah. And a lot of these things that I get are like blind buys.
Which this was too, because I was like, oh, it's on clearance. The art looks good. I know Fraction. Let's grab it,
Yeah, like She Could Fly was a complete blind buy for me, just based on I wanted to read more Christopher Cantwell. So I don't. Bad lettering can ruin a book. November by Matt Fraction is super hard to read because of it.
That sucks.
Animal Man by Grant Morrison is awesome. We Three is a great story. That's the Brian K. Vaughan book that I can't read again, is Pride of Baghdad. That just rips my heart out. We Three also will rip your heart out, but it has a better ending than Pride of Baghdad. I just can't read Pride of Baghdad again. As great a book as I bet it is, I just can't read that one again. We Three, though, has a good ending. Everything. I haven't read anything bad by him. I heard Matt Fractions. X-Men is kind of weak too. I don't have that one. Oh, he now Crashland liked Nameless a lot, but he also liked Invisibles. Whoa. Okay. Well, there's some in everything. There's some stuff out there for everything. Next Imaginaut, I'll wait till you get done with your second thought to read it all. Well, Remco loved Nameless, so there you go. There's something for everyone. And Next Imaginaut is the one who let me know about a book that was about to be released that I got, and it's already out of print, I think. So I'm lucky he told me it was available to order. I think it was like Nemesis. What? I'm getting texts from people about Tom Brady retiring. Crashline relettering. I find Leroy lettering. Think Prince Valiant comics really distracting. I'm not sure OmniCat's read a lot of New 52, or am I wrong there?
No, you're right. I think I've read. Is that Lemire Animal Man? Is that New 52?
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I read that and Swamp Thing that goes alongside it. I like those a lot.
Uh-huh.
I think that's it. I don't think I've read anything else. You know, someone's supposed to send me Harley Quinn New 52, but I don't know if that's ever going to happen. So.
Flesh is checking if you saw his comment about Little Monarchs.
No. Let me find it.
Okay. And while we're waiting for Kristan, I think Otto Binder's brilliant. Taylor Talks Comics. Yeah, I think Otto Binder's really brilliant. Next Imaginaut, where's your second thought?
He's making you wait. Ooh, okay, I find it. It's way far back. Kristan, I know I'm repeating myself, but Little Monarchs by Jonathan Case is coming out in April. Maybe take a look. He's an Eisner Award-winning writer-artist who lives down the street from me. Oh, that's fun. Okay, hold on. I'll write that down. I'm all about that.
Cool. Did you read Batgirl by Gail Simone?
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Look at Marcella.
Okay.
Just ask the chat what you've read.
Thank you. I did love that too. Yeah. Okay, I read a little bit. Not enough for 10 or 5 or whatever the question was, but
right.
Yeah.
Now I have to think. New 52. I liked so much of New 52. Frankenstein, Agent of Shade, I, Vampire, Voodoo, Demon Knights. Those were great. Batman New 52 was great. I liked Batman and Robin Eternal. That was great. Batman Eternal, I think, was good, but I don't think it was great. Now I'm looking around my collection. Harley Quinn. That's the run that made me fall in love with Harley Quinn. Yes, I owe Kristan
Heard of that one.
Shut up. I know, you know.
Just send me a Merry Late Christmas. It's fine.
Let's see. What else did I loved lots of New 52, and I'm just not seeing them right now. Let's see. The Superman in action were sort of iffy. Superman was good, or was it action? Whenever Gene Yang took over writing Superman, that was the tail end of New 52. That was good. I think Lucifer was a New 52 title, along with Swamp Thing and Animal Man. Those were good. Okay, we already said Batgirl. Harley Quinn, yeah. Harley Quinn. Okay. Oh, yeah. Justice League Dark. Of course. Green Lantern and Green Lantern was flipping amazing. Green Lantern was good. Justice League Dark was amazing. Oh, yeah. New 52 Wonder Woman is great. Tomasi's Batman and Robin. That's right. Also great. Aquaman. Very good by Jeff Johns. That was awesome. And then Jeff Parker picked it up. And somebody else was writing it too that was good. But Jeff Parker wrote it right after Jeff Johns. And I really liked that. I just said that, so yeah. This new so a dumb Nehru collar looked weird. A Nehru collar, wow, that's like 1968. Now, Days of Sand, somebody is saying is great.
Yeah, I have that on my list to check
Days
out.
of Sand, that sounds really familiar to me. But is that specifically a Kristan book and not me?
I think they've mentioned it to both of us before.
To both of us. Days of Sand.
Because I have it on a list.
Okay, yeah, it sounds really familiar. Oh, Dan Abnett finished the New 52 Aquaman run. Yeah. The more recent Lucifer titles, I have them right here. The best thing out of the Sandman universe, these are the Lucifer titles. I enjoyed them, but Sandman universe is, I feel like it's like an extension, like it's not an Elseworlds thing, but it's Sandman universe, I think, appears on its own as far as titles go. You know, I say that, and then the John Constantine books are fantastic. The Hellblazer by Cy Spurrier, this was amazing. But I enjoyed Lucifer, but I loved Hellblazer. And then The Dreaming is by Cy Spurrier. That's also really good. And then there was House of Whispers, which I thought was pretty good. I did a whole video on Sandman Universe 8 months ago. So you can go back in my library and see what I say, because I mentioned Lucifer specifically. Now people are just saying, uh-oh, Next Imaginaut has 3 thoughts. Where's the third one? Okay, I'll read the first 2. Now people want to know, like, our top 15 things.
Top 15 Rebirth.
Yeah, I saw that.
I can't give you one. I'm sorry.
You haven't read a single one?
I don't think I've read a single one. No.
Let's start with Next Imaginaut. No, in every medium, if not profession, there is some proportion of creators whom become and retain their success purely because of their hackery. Being a yes man editors and being able to consistently stay on deadlines and produce, if only superficially competent pablum, can be very desirable for brand maintenance purposes when there are conveyor belt production. And there's a third thought. That all makes a lot of sense. Standards, like at Marvel, to both crank out a steady stream of multiple titles of a given brand, X-Men, and wherever possible to also try to flood the zone with even more of that product. Yes, man, to editors. Ah, okay. Very good. Very good thoughts. You both like Days of Sand. It's about the Dust Bowl period. I find that period fascinating. My mom and dad lived both. My mom lived through the Dust Bowl. My dad was in Detroit, or during the Dust Bowl. He's probably in the Army at that point. But okay, yeah, I want to read Days of Sand. My only apprehension is I bet I already have it somewhere, and so if I'm gonna have to look at the cover and see if I already have it, because
You may have 2 copies somewhere.
if I have 2, I'll send you one.
Fantastic.
What else are people saying? Hellblazer was 2019, the only good one. Well, that was the only good Hellblazer since Hellblazer finished at issue 300. I completely agree with that, except for Justice League Dark. He's written fairly credible. If you really want an answer to that, or you're just messing with us, I have several Rebirth videos in my library if you want to check it out. Rebirth is I love lots of those titles in Rebirth. There's a lot of really good Rebirth titles. So check out my library if you really want the answer to that, or if you're just busting my chops, somebody else out there, check out my Rebirth videos. I go over them extensively. What's good, what's not good.
Wait, what era is Super Sons?
That was Rebirth.
Okay, so I've read that.
Awesome.
That's something.
That's one of the best ones you can read.
I loved it.
Yeah.
So
It was super great. Do you need to read Justice League New 52 Omni to enjoy Justice League Dark Omnibus? Well, I thought the Omnibus was New 52. But then Crashline's saying no. Wait a minute. I thought the Justice League Dark Omnibus. Oh, Justice League. Okay, sorry. No, Justice League's a great New 52 title. Fantastic. But no, it has nothing to do with Justice League Dark. You can read Justice League Dark Omnibus on its own. That's another great New 52 title. Justice League New 52 was my favorite Justice League ever written as a series. That was awesome by Jeff Johns. Just utterly awesome. So you should read it, but you don't have to. Now I understand. I was having trouble reading that for some reason. I'm sure you're getting it because I own all the hardcovers so far, and I will be sticking with that. Yes, but that's why we talk about good books versus terrible books. I must have said something that's a response to. So good response. I just need to get a few issues of Constantine so I can read both at the same time. Crashline. Okay, for Justice League Dark. It's quite recent that this is Days of Sand. Don't think you'll have it. Don't even know if it's out physically in English yet. Okay, well then I don't have it. Here, you read this one.
OmniCat, you should read Superman and Detective Comics Rebirth. Why would you say that to me? I'll read Detective Comics Rebirth.
That's a great run.
It's great. That's Tomasi, right?
Yeah, and Batwoman's actually the main character in that. That's
okay. I'll put that on my list. I don't know about the other one, but don't know why you'd say that to me.
Anyone reading Strange Academy?
I haven't yet,
Champions?
but I intend to.
Where the hell did Strange Academy go? I just had it. I was going to be all... Oh, here it is. Right here, dude. It's awesome. And the second one just came out. It's awesome, too. I mean, I assume. I haven't read it. But the first one was awesome. Oh, here's one for Kristan.
Would you guys consider reviewing Giant Days at some point in the future? I keep trying to bully Jess into reviewing Giant Days with me. So you keep at it, Elvis. Keep asking. I'm hoping Jess will read all of. I want to reread it this year, and I want to read it alongside Jess, and then we can talk about it. It's going to be great.
I 100% am not being bullied on that. Oh, okay. You can think that you're bullying me.
No, I know I'm not.
Okay, I totally want to read that with you. I read the first 3, I think, and loved them, and I've got all of them, and I'm happy to make that a topic in a month or 2 when we can read them all. Are there like 14? Awesome.
Yeah, something like that. 14 trades.
We'd have right. to. Yeah, you'd need to give me a month to. I mean, I could sit down on a weekend and read them all, but.
Yeah, we'll have to plan that out. I'll put that on a list for that and like the Batwoman Omni.
Yeah.
We should plan a day for so we can make sure we have enough time. That's
great. Great. I'm thoroughly sold on New 52 Justice League now. Thanks, Jess. Awesome. Oh, haha! It was a response to the conveyor belt of hackery. that was next of Agenot's thought. Okay, the conveyor belt of hackery. Jess, do you know what creator or series that got you into reading crime books? That is a good question. Crime books. Crime. I feel like it was those smaller hardcover Vertigo books that are like Vertigo Crime. And then there was that Parallax, was it Parallax Press? That had History of Violence and stuff in it. Let me see here. History of Violence. Yeah, Vertigo. And then I think it was not Parallax, Parallel Press. I'm thinking of the villain, Parallax. Those are the books that got me into crime. They're still all available. But that's the series, the Vertigo Crime series and the Parallel Press from DC Crime series.
Did you know there's a Lois Lane issue where Catwoman turns Superman into a cat? I didn't know that. I need someone to tell me where I can read that. What collected edition is that in?
That sounds like a 1963 Lois Lane.
Well, then tell me the issue. Tell me something, because I will absolutely read that.
I think
maybe that's when I'll like Superman.
Yeah, this is the gateway into Superman for OmniCat. What issue is that, Darkwave? That totally sounds. Is that where Lois Lane 90 and 91, the first Silver Age appearance of Catwoman? Darkwave. I only have volume 1, volume 2 in paperback is sold out. I didn't know that. Great. I just did a whole video on how great it is. Just linked you, Jess. April 12th, the Days of Sand hardcover comes out. I'll spam Kristan on Goodreads with that same link.
Awesome.
Jess Omer said if you read Giant Days with Kristan, Marvel will publish a Gwenpool omnibus.
Now you have to.
Perfect.
And then we'll both get the Gwenpool omnibus and talk about Gwenpool.
Yeah, and we need you to design that spine because they are coming out with, I bet when it comes out, it's going to come out with a lame spine. And Kristen's idea is so great that it's a pink cover. And then the spine itself has all these kind of goofy letters that spell Gwenpool. And little Gwenpools are climbing up the letters, doing crazy things and taking selfies and being Gwenpool.
Yes.
Isn't that an exciting spine idea?
It has to be done.
It
has to be done. Even like one side of the letters, Gwen could be like pulling the G, and that could be, you know what I'm saying? And then one on the other end could be yanking it. So then, that's causing all the letters to like pull or like look a certain, they can do a lot. They can do a lot. They're not gonna, but they could. Okay. And that would sell things. That spine design, we know more than anything, more than the cover. we all care about more than the cover. I'd say it. Because you know how often I see my covers? Not often.
Mm-hmm.
Especially because I'm not pulling out a lot of Omnis to read, okay? It's just not happening. But I stare at the spines a lot.
I think it's Lois Lane 17. Lois Lane 17. You mean like 1954 Lois Lane?
Like ages ago?
Like back when I was a kid or back before I was a kid?
I'm still looking it up.
Okay. Lois Lane 17. That's wow. Oh, 170. Okay, so that's going to be Bronze Age. So try looking that up. Okay, yeah, Strange Academy 1 is well, there is going to be the hardcover that comes out. So you're going to have to make a decision on that. It's an oversize of the art, which is fantastic. There's questions about how much it's going to be. Strange Academy #1, and it's going to be 6 issues in color and 6 issues in black and white. But if the trade sold out, hopefully this will be a good price that's affordable at one of the online retailers for Strange Academy 1, and you can get it that way. Oh, here it is. Lois Lane 70, September 1966. So, okay, so it's Lois Lane 70 and 71 is the first Catwoman in the Silver Age.
Okay.
Yeah. And those stories have great Kurt Schaffenberger art. And they're really fun, but I mean, Catwoman turns Superman into a cat or whatever. So it's not, I mean, it's going to be Silver Age.
It's going to be silly, but I'm interested. Although Flush made a good point. He said, careful, this opens the door to you disliking a cat. Cue Admiral Akbar.
It's a
Good point. Maybe I shouldn't.
It's a trap. Whatever he was. It's a trap. Remco thinks it should be pink foil.
Oh, they'll never do that, but that's a good idea.
No. Jess, what would you say are the differences between Vertigo John Constantine and New 52 John Constantine? The difference is that Vertigo John Constantine was consistently well-written and interesting. New 52 John Constantine sucked.
Got him. You said it.
Yeah, those are the differences. And I'm getting ready to run out of power here soon. So I'm sorry, but we're going to have to cut this episode short. We've only been on the air 3 hours.
It's too short.
What's your most anticipated DC Omnibus? Phantom Stranger. Okay, wait. Right. She's got magic in this.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's actually it's highly collectible. That issue 70 is pretty, if you can find it in good condition, it's actually pretty expensive because that's Catwoman's first Silver Age appearance. This is another Lois Lane. This was the 70s, and what I had this book. Have you seen the cover to this where Lois Lane gets turned into it's
I don't think so.
Superman's on the cover. She goes into like this case and it magically turns her into a black woman. She said, "It's important that for the next 24 hours, I am a black woman." And it's about her Black Like Me experience being a black woman. And she's doing it to win a Pulitzer. And if you want to read the cringiest cringe of all cringes,
sounds like it.
That issue is it. Starting with the cover, everything about it hits a wrong note. It is tone deaf and everything. It's super obvious it was created by white men, and it's just woof.
I'm sure that super hasn't aged well either.
It was hard to read back then.
I was going to say, if it was hard back then, like...
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Most anticipated books of 2022 would be a great episode. Well, you're in for a treat, Taylor Talks Comics, because tonight at 8 o'clock, Webhead and he is the proprietor of comicreleases.com, are doing a live show on our most anticipated books of 2022. There's no reason Kristan and I can't do that also. So but I guess we better do it fairly soon. Don't want to do it in September of 2022.
Yeah, may not want to wait till then.
No. So yeah, tune in tonight at 8 for me and Webhead, the comic releases head honcho. I'm getting the alert on my computer that my Mac's about to croak. So I'm sorry I have to end this party. It's 3 hours though. I mean, you got your money's worth, which was nothing. That's right. Webhead Live. I've gotten a lot of requests for that. So, Kristan, where can they find you and what are you up to?
Well, you can find me on Instagram at the Comic Slayer. You can see books I'm reading. You can see my cute cats, the good stuff. Over on the Omnibus Collectors Network tomorrow in the morning at like 10 a.m. Eastern. Maybe, probably, hopefully. Maddie and I will be on. You can check out Fangirls Live. Fangirls Assemble there, live. And, I'm supposed to put a video on my Dead channel before January ends. So maybe there's something coming this weekend. Maybe there's not. We're going to see. But if you want to check out my channel, that's the Comic Slayer. I hope to put something on it. So if you feel like subscribing, you'll get the videos.
I want to help you produce that. I'm just eager.
Jess will be on one day with me. And then they'll come. Then the people will come. They're like, we don't care until then. It's fine.
Right.
I get it.
Yeah, that's right. I'm like when you add the Punisher to a comic book to make sales go up. Look, Punisher's on the cover.
Yeah.
And I'm here on OmniDog's Vault and on OmniDogs_Vault on Instagram. Have a show tonight at 8 o'clock, and I'm putting up other videos, and I'm going to produce the first Comic Slayer video. It's going to be great.
Awesome.
So peace and love, peace and love. Thank you to everybody who watched. Thank you to all the interesting chat. We really get interesting chat on our shows. Lots of cool things being discussed. I'm sorry if I didn't get to your question, but ask it again at a different time. I feel like I'm always on. Or you can ask me in comments. Please like, subscribe, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Feel free to comment. And we will leave with, I hope, our favorite song. And I hope it doesn't, my computer doesn't die before then. Peace and love, peace and love. Thank you to Kristan for being on with me, and thank you everybody watching. Thank you.
Rock and roll! OmniDog! Hey, OmniCat! Now here's the OmniDog and OmniCat show. It's the place instead if you'd like to know more about the books that they've read. Kristan likes Lumberjanes and Steven. Jess likes to grow Jimmy Olsen.